nice little fun food care packages for him instead. So instead of buying everyone presents, I like made him a bunch of bourbon maple syrup, and I'm gonna make some herb butter and like some cake batter, pancake mix stuff for him, and maybe some onion dip. I don't know. But anywho, the moral to this story so far is I bought way more syrup and bourbon than I thought I would need to fill these 3 little jars. So I have a big fucking bottle of bourbon maple syrup in my fridge for myself now too.
This sounds wonderful.
I also still have a bunch of syrup and bourbon left over. So if and when it actually becomes feasible to like visit other people again, I'm totally gonna make you some.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the extra bourbon doesn't sound like a huge issue. The extra syrup,
Yeah.
I can't help there.
I mean, the syrup. It's not like syrup's gonna go bad, or it has a much longer shelf life than I can make other stuff with it.
Yeah.
And the bourbon's not an issue either. I don't drink bourbon myself much, but like I can cook stuff with it,
For sure.
especially making more of this syrup
All right.
because it's real good.
Anyway, let's do this.
Bombshell has very nicely made ID
I saw that.
available for download.
Yeah, he converted a whole bunch of the videos to MP3s. So if you've somehow made it 67 episodes into this, well, I guess it's only for IDT. Maybe he'll do it for Crosswinds eventually. We'll bribe him.
Unbelievable.
Speaking of which, premature, but we're 2 episodes away from episode 69. Congratulations.
Nice.
I've made it
Nice.
about 7 episodes without bringing up the fact that
Careful,
we're
are we allowed
approaching
to say
episode
that in
69.
stream?
We're allowed to say it.
I think we have to skip it. I think we have to go from 68 to 70.
It's just a number.
It's just a number. It's just the funny sex number. What are they going to do? Call the cops?
Definitely can't say that.
Anyway, still waiting on a couple of people, but let's get the shit started, because we're doing rigid start times. I say 7 minutes after 8.
Yes, word.
Yeah, rigid definitely is not allowed.
Rigid is not allowed. We have to only turgid now. Is the safe
Turgid,
word.
yeah, turgid.
Turgid.
Turgid, throbbing start times.
Anyway, when we left off,
Anywho,
you guys were on an invisible airship, making your way down the other side of a mountain, heading over to investigate the crash site of the Black Zephyr, where you hope to find some sort of signs of what had happened or what happened to the ship, although you have an inkling of a clue. Along the way, you were greeted by a young dragon, who seemed very curious and was somehow able to see you guys while invisible. He had a whole bunch of questions for you and eventually talked about going to fetch his mom and introduce you. You guys all decided that that was probably a bad idea and did what you could to dissuade him, bribing him with gifts and telling him not to tell his mother where he got him, like any reasonable adult would do. And that's basically where we'll pick up. I'm going to go look up inspiration. If you guys want to chat amongst yourselves real quick while I go get inspiration.
Oh, my roll 20 keeps crashing.
Yeah, it's been real iffy lately. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
There we go. I don't think it was actually my roll 20. I think it was my Firefox. Har har.
Also, there's a map now.
You guys ever hear of Firefox? It's like Internet Explorer, but better.
Imagine not using Chrome. I used to use
It's like
Firefox.
Microsoft Edge.
while we're talking about hot internet programs, have you guys heard of this new one that's sweeping the nation? It's called Netscape.
Netscape Navigator. You guys remember?
I think everyone's going to be using it here soon.
Definitely. You guys remember the AOL keyword browser? Like, back when the internet was new and young and fresh, that's like how you use the internet, is you got the AOL browser and you typed in a keyword and it took you to the website for that keyword. Like, you typed in Best Buy and it took you to the Best Buy website, because there was no Google. There was no Google back then. That's like, oh god. It's weird.
It's literally unbelievable.
It is unbelievable that I grew up in a world without Google.
We grew up in a world where the technology you're talking about right now, pre-Google, was like the mind-blowing cutting edge.
Oh yeah. I remember, like, even in college, like not even during my early life, but in college, it was like Alta Vista, I think, or something, like the educational search engine for like papers and books. It's not Alta Vista. What am I thinking of? Anyway. Oh, it is Alta Vista. I was right. Inspiration 2. Wait, what? Did they change your interface? What the fuck? What is this page?
Oh.
Very dramatic.
There we go. Roll a d3. Ace and Nomad.
Thank you. I have inspiration. Who doesn't have it yet?
I think everyone here
I
has it,
don't.
maybe.
I haven't had inspiration in weeks.
Please take this inspiration. Be inspired.
Thank you, God.
Oh, now I'm God.
They'll worship you when you're benevolent.
Hey, look, it's that lizard
Or-
village.
Still fear into their heart.
Yeah. So I've toned it down a little bit
Your
because,
spell.
being able to see things is important. The cloud cover is actually even thicker than it shows on this map, and you guys are currently above it. You've kind of breached up through the top of the mountains. You can see all these peaks that are poking through. From here, you don't really see as much wildlife because it seems like most of it kind of stayed under the cloud and the mist cover. But you do see just kind of these rolling peaks. And you saw before you breached this kind of lizard folk city over to the east. And then there's the shelf over here where the crash site was, and you spotted just a couple of telltale signs of activity down there. And you're currently headed back down towards the fog cover, through the clouds, and towards that shelf. The young dragon has just flown off, so if there's anything that you'd like to do immediately before or as you're watching the dragon depart, speak now, forever hold your peace.
I would like to watch his departure through the spyglass and see if I can see where he goes, or if he gets out of line of sight before he arrives at the mountain top he was going towards.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Advantage from spyglass, or is that nullified by the clouds?
We'll cancel it out with the clouds. 24 is solid. You're at least able to determine the direction that he starts to fly, which is kind of westward. He seems to be headed just kind of along this ridge of mountains over this direction. Notably, with a 24, you'd also notice that he starts to kind of dive down into the cloud cover fairly early on, which you're good at survival and good at tracking and good at perception. You get the sense that either his destination is pretty close down in the mountains, or that he's just trying to get to cloud cover quickly if his destination is far away.
Gotcha. Okay. And how close are we to the Black Zephyr's crash site?
Probably another 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay. Close enough for it to be seen through the spyglass, or at least if they're around it, can be seen through the spyglass. I just want to look around for people around there.
For sure. It'll be a little difficult until you break through, but you can go give me go and give me a check with advantage now. But I'll just take the left one until you get through cloud cover.
Okay, cool.
Hey, well, that settles that.
Oh.
Taking a look around, it appears to be abandoned. There's nobody currently at the site. You do see just tiny little bits of debris, most of which is kind of scorched or scarred or marked, or appears to be wreckage from trees that have been broken, a couple of rocks that have been displaced, but no signs of people.
Okay, cool. Well, doesn't look like there's anybody down there at the moment. Might be I suppose it makes sense for anybody there now if they already gathered up all the ship and took it back to that village, but I suppose it couldn't hurt to poke around, see if we can find some clues or something.
Would you like for us to reach the ground?
Yeah,
What
I
do you
reckon
call
so.
from the ground? Grounding? Landing?
I think I
Earthing.
heard it called Landon, but that's mostly for sea ships. What else?
Earthfall.
A few more minutes go by, uneventfully and quietly, until eventually you break through the bottom edge of the fog cloud cover, where you're able to see things a little bit more clearly. You immediately begin scanning again with the spyglass, and you're not able to see anything new or surprising, but you can see in more detail definite signs of a wreckage. You can see where dirt has been displaced by something large landing rather forcefully. Several broken trees, some of which are scorched and burned like they've been on fire. But no signs of movement or life, just a big cleared out area. And a few minutes later, after that, you are able to pull up pretty much directly to the point of impact. And if you'd like, you can lower a ladder and begin to investigate, or if there's anything you'd like to do before boarding, or I guess unboarding, deboarding, deboarding.
Deboarding.
Uh, the world is your oyster. What would you guys like to do?
As we approach, Nordo will take a seat on the deck of the ship and get some tobacco out and do his little chant for 11 minutes to get Speak with Animals up.
Right?
Nomad will drift down and start investigating to see if there are clues that point out what might happen here. He's gonna CSI this place.
Excellent. You can give me either investigation or survival. Either one's appropriate. All right. With the 26, the very first thing that stands out to you is kind of just a rough indication of what may have happened here. There is a very clear indication that a large object, probably a ship based on the size of the scuff marks, was very forcefully and abruptly grounded, probably at high speeds. You can see that it left a very large divot through the mud and the grass and the trees here. You can see places where shrubs were pulled and yanked up, vines were torn away, a couple of trees were felled. And it's just kind of left this gulch where it slid before coming to a stop. You can see that there are obvious signs of a fire. A lot of the plant life is scorched and burnt down to stumps. The area immediately around the wreckage seems to have been kind of scorched clean almost, leaving just like charred plant life and bare dirt. You can see that there's a little bit of cover that has kind of survived, and you can see it's a little bit moist with the morning dew that has taken over the past few days since the crash. And then you start to notice more fine details. One of the very first things that stands out to you as you begin your investigation is there are no signs of the ship. And what I mean is the only things that have been left behind are natural debris. There are broken bits of trees and plants. There are rocks that have been displaced. There's a big boulder that seems like it got crashed into and kind of almost like knocked out of place and then rolled away. But there's not so much as a splinter of wood. No scraps of the cloth or the sails. Every trace of the ship or anything that could have broken off of the ship during the landing is missing. You do see that there is a lot of foot traffic, most of which appears to be lizard folk. You don't see any signs of like human boots or anything that you would expect from an SSLC crew. But you do see signs of carts and tracks that could have been used for like just a very primitive wagon or something like that. You do see that there are a couple of signs of like a temporary campsite that were put up. You can see that there are some stone rings with burnt out campfires in them. Although they appear to have been abandoned for some time, none of them appear active at all. It's been at least a couple days since they were used.
Yeah. Do I notice any tracks showing which direction it might have been? Well, if this seems it might have taken quite some time to get everything, splinters and everything.
Absolutely. There's lots of traffic around the site, and with the 26, you can tell that most of the traffic is coming and going to the south, indicating that they probably followed this shelf down towards the Lizard Folk City to the southeast, potentially. With the 26, you would also notice that there are a couple of heavy-set turtle footprints that run off to the northwest, and they look to be about
Ooh,
the right size and shape for Leah.
I
Do
found Leah.
what are the parts that we're looking for on the ship? Stuff for finding the Wandering Sun. What's that look for? Don't suppose we need the whole ship.
Oh, I believe it was part of the engine. It would have been back with the magical components of the engine for sure. I'm afraid I don't really know all of the details of how it worked, but Yeah, it would be down with the engine.
Just on account of if they moved that whole ship out of here, every last piece of wood, they must have taken it all apart to do it. So it doesn't look like we're going to be finding a whole ship anywhere.
I'm a little I mean, it's only been a few days. That seems like a lot of work to get done in just a few days.
It's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know if there's some sort of magic they could use to just clear the whole thing up with magic. I don't know. Friend, nobody ever heard anything like that.
Do I know?
Well, you could give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, there was a spell that might have helped this. Oh, it's a natural one. 16.
Yeah, even with the 16, like you've seen Gale use Enlarge Reduce, you know that there are spells that could potentially maybe help with this sort of thing. You don't really, it's up to you if you can think of any specific ones. But magic does exist, and it helps do things.
Can I sort of augment Nomad's investigation with a survival of my own to try to get a sense for like just how much back and forth there has been to this place? How much was like hauled away versus like I don't know. Can I tell if something just literally disappeared from this space and how long they've been salvaging it?
Teleported.
Sure, sure. 22 is enough to help with Nomad. You can tell that there was, first of all, a lot of activity. Probably the work of upwards of 40, maybe 50 people here, mostly lizard folk. In fact, exclusively lizard folk based on what you've seen. Um, Once you kind of work together with Nomad and begin discussing kind of like magical possibilities, you do notice that there are a couple of large trees nearby, and there are occasionally footprints that seem to lead into and out of those trees. Um, you do get the sense that at least some of the carts seem to be very heavy load bearing. There is actually kind of a series of 3 carts side by side that dig pretty deep into the mud, and it looks like they were used to cart something very heavy, potentially a ship. Although you imagine that they still would have had to use some sort of magic to reduce that load. The terrain here is extremely difficult and treacherous, and the mud is kind of slick. They would have had to use some other form of magic to kind of help with that process. But you do get the sense that there were 3 carts that were loaded up with something very, very heavy and then dragged in the direction of the Lizard Folk City.
Okay. And can I tell roughly like how long, like when they came upon it and how long it took them to get it? Like how long ago was the last person here salvaging?
Yeah, you imagine that the area has footprints that are as old as a month, but most of the activity is about 4 days old and stops about 2.5 days ago.
Okay. Well, looks to me like they got everything they came for. Right? Nobody's been here in a couple days.
They must have been scavenging. I don't suppose they have many resources here like this.
I can't imagine so. Flick was saying nobody flies this way, which ain't too hard to believe on account of all the big birds and bats and dragons and such.
Do you think they wish to learn this technology? Is that why they'd take the entire thing, splinters and all?
Could be. I don't know much about lizard folk. I ain't spent a whole lot of time around them. Don't know. Maybe they're worshiping it or something like
Yeah,
Kuatoa.
as an anthropologist, what do I know about lizard folk?
Give me a history check with advantage because of your background. You would
35.
So you would know that, like most cultures, it depends on where they're from and what they're like. There are plenty of lizard folk in mainstream society that you've passed by over in Valdalance and Belmoral. They tend to integrate pretty well. They're known to be shrewd and diverse, although sometimes a little emotionally distant or cold. Just as a general rule of thumb, there are always exceptions. You do know that they tend to thrive more commonly in the regions of Ajabyata, especially kind of in the areas to the northeast of where orcs do. Um, Island names. Hang on, let me pull up the big map.
Cool.
So it's most common to find them kind of in the larval fin region, sometimes a little bit over to the north and west of that. It's not unheard of them for them to kind of spread around in this little region here, but they can be found all over. Um, as a general, like biological rule of thumb, you know that they don't need to eat terribly often. They tend to adapt poorly to colder environments. They tend to be just a little bit emotionally distant or less
Hmm.
communicative than a lot of other people are. What else? What else? What else? The ones that are prominent throughout Ajabiata tend to be religious to a little bit of a disproportionate degree. They typically either latch onto one of the existing major gods and worship very strongly, or have their own local deities that they worship. What else? Any other details that you're looking for specifically? Got a
Yeah.
35, so
So
that's like a lot of info, but I
yeah,
don't know what to give you.
I'm just going to assume that 35 gets me everything that I need, so I can ask you later if it comes up. But for now, this cold and distant thing, does that mean they're unwilling to cooperate with other people, or just, for example, if they were slighted and the same person came by later, offering them something they would need, they don't really hold a grudge
Um, tu- tu- tu-
because they're
tu.
practical.
You would know that within most of the cultures of lizard folk in the Ajabiata region, the way it presents is kind of a very pragmatic, utilitarian. Um, uh, they'll make a deal if it serves them well now. They'll be wary if you've harmed them in the past because they're not stupid. They do have long-term memories. But if you can convince them that a trade is beneficial to them and that they're not going to get stabbed in the back, they're open to the idea of it. They tend to just be very cold and calculating.
Do I know what they usually want or what their culture needs?
Um,
Specifically, like not the ones in say a highly populated island, more like this one,
sure, the more
we're just
remote one.
surrounded remote one surrounded by goddamn monsters.
Yeah. You would know that typically the remote regions, they're fairly, how do I put it? They are survival oriented and comfortable and content with survival. And what I mean by that is the kind of idealized pinnacle of society for a lot of lizard folk cultures is to have food, to have shelter, have a bed, have a roof over your head, and then to spend your time relaxing, producing art and music, and kind of just being comfortable with a simple life. They do value anything that produces art or music, anything that helps them survive more easily. They don't typically have a strong interest in like international trade or commerce or anything like that. They're
Simpler.
simple. And
Yeah, I
again,
Then when
explained
things are
this.
finally looking good and you've settled down and you've earned your life and your fortress of solitude that you want and you've always aspired to, your wife is like, "Let's have two more."
oh, Jow,
Do they have
wasn't
like
it three more?
marriages?
That
You
was just
God, I
two.
think you're right. Did I forget about a daughter?
I thought
No,
it
it
was
No,
was
I think it
two.
was
three.
just
Was it
Just
just
two.
two? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It was two, and
there were
then
4 sons and 2
Ukao, or
daughters.
not Ukao.
That's right. I okay, right. I knew it totaled up to six. I forgot there were four sons.
Dumb boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Marriage. You would know that, oh boy, within most of the cultures that you're familiar with from your studies and your travels, um, hmm, hmm. It is a little uncommon for them to form bonds that are that permanent. They definitely do.
It's okay.
They mate for the purpose of reproduction, but it's not necessarily that they lack the ability to love. It's just that they tend
Yeah.
to be more emotionally distant and cold, and they tend to
It's
not
more
view it
utilitarian
exact.
or something.
And again, the ones that have adapted kind of to willing quit life change, and it depends on where they're from. But the ones to the eastern areas and in Ajabiata tend to be like that.
So I imagine they're like, "Oh, I will stay with you until you're not pregnant anymore and can feed yourself.
Or even after, if it behooves them to take care of their offspring, then they'll stick
You
around to
have
help take care of
children.
the
I will
offspring.
help the offspring survive until they can feed themselves too,
Yeah,
I suppose.
it's
Okay,
almost
now I will go get cigarettes. By that I mean abandoning you.
it's not. It's not really
Because
quite like
I don't
that.
have to lie.
It's more like they go through all the emotions of child rearing and having a family, but they don't attach a lot of emotion to it. It's almost like a kind of a kobold mentality, like a clan raise sort of thing, except instead of making 200 new kobolds every afternoon, there's just, one or two new kids at any given time, and the whole clan kind of works together to take
That's
care of them.
rude.
Is it inaccurate, though?
I don't know. I'm not God here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends. I feel obligated to say every time I give one of these descriptions that, like, the entire race is not homogenous. Some lizard folk are different, but the ones that you
Yeah.
know of, the major ones around here, tend to be like that.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's based on the region. It's based on how the cultures interacted with others.
Yep.
But in general, when left to their own devices, this is like the natural state.
Yeah, I will mention actually, you got a natural 20 for a 35, which is really fucking incredible. The first thing that you would know is there is not much known about anything over on these islands, other than the fact that they are hostile and they are a place that people don't go because it's very dangerous to get there, and it's even more
Mhm.
dangerous when you do get there. You would know
Yeah.
that there are lizard folk societies over there, and it's suspected that one of the reasons they survive is because they have a very pragmatic and survival-oriented mindset. So you imagine that the culture here is probably pretty similar to the ones over here. They're just a
Cool.
very hard, cold, simple, calculating people with a focus on survival.
What's their primary languages?
Most of the time, Draconic. I'm gonna give you though, with a 35 and your background and the time that you've spent with Ace, it is known to very few people, but that does include you, that the lizard folk in Amalengtha and the rest of this region speak Undercommon.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, for Nomad, do you think we could be able to convince them to just give us what we need? I don't exactly want to run in here and start making a battle out of it if we don't have to. I don't know if they
Yeah.
know what they have.
The most practical solution here is to offer a trade. They like arts, oddly.
Well,
They sound like my kind of people, honestly. Very practical, very pragmatic, a little distant, which isn't beneficial to us, but this might help us in this instance because it is possible if we provide them something that they need and or want, they will look past our little scuffle a few days ago. Was it a few days ago? I think it was a few days
yeah,
ago, right?
yeah. I don't know if they even know what they've got their hands on. But even if they do, I don't expect it to do them any good. They don't got any need to get to the Wandering Sun. So if what they have ain't worth anything to them except what we can offer, then
Yeah, they do not much care for traveling, from what I know. At least,
although they
yeah,
must
like commerce with other places.
they must think it's worth something to gather it all up like this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they would want from this. Do I know, Vec?
Um, with a 35,
Culture? Do they just scavenge things they think will be useful to help them
yeah,
survive?
it's
EC.
it's very possible that they took it to study it or to strip it for resources. Um, it's God, you got a 35. I'm trying to think of what I should like, what I even can give you here.
Here's more questions just in case.
Sure.
Based on what, since we've met them before, based on what they were wielding, what their clothes were, etc., could I estimate their, how you say, how advanced they are? Would they be working on still stone technology? Would they still be,
You would be aware that they
cutting
have
spears?
very basic metallurgy. They probably know how to craft iron weapons, maybe even advanced metal weapons. They do a lot of their construction in stone, but they do know the basics of masonry. Um, you imagine that they almost certainly have some magical capable people. In fact, you've seen some of them. A lot of the music that they use is natural or divine. Probably not arcane. Um, it would be they likely have at least a few people who understand that magic comes from stones and have found ways to make items with those stones that use the magical properties. They probably don't have scholars and researchers who are like fully aware, like an artificer would be or a wizard, of all of the math going on behind the scenes. They would benefit from food. They would benefit from construction materials. But you kind of get the sense with the 35 that like it really depends on why they took this ship, what it means to them, and how they feel about you. It's very likely that the most valuable thing that you can offer them is to just go away.
What about the information that that ship might cause them to be invaded?
Could be a potentially useful bargaining tool.
Because that's the truth.
Yeah, no, it's not a lie.
Yes, this is the exact sort of place that the company would come to turn these people into slaves. So they might need to know that they don't want that thing around here any longer than it needs to be.
A strong, able-bodied indigenous race with not a very big city.
Flavor is
What did
really
they
like
say? Like
lizard folk.
350 or something? I think they said there were like 300 and some odd people in the city.
Something like that. I forget the exact number, but it is about that scale.
Still, that all begs the question of how we get this here conversation started, because don't expect to just walk in there and say, hey, we got a deal for you.
Can I disguise self as a lizard folk?
Yeah.
And perhaps we can start with an emissary, I suppose.
I don't know if I love the idea of somebody walking in there by themselves.
Oh, not inside, just outside and somehow getting their attention.
Fair enough.
That being said, do we have anything to trade with in case, the fact that this is dangerous to them isn't enough?
I mean, you said they like art. I got drawings and such, but that seems like small potatoes next to an airship.
They will favor things that help them live a simple life. Food, something that provides food, something that provides sustenance, something that provides housing or helps build housing.
They might not be able to
I
make houses
suppose
out of it, but I've got plenty of like bones and mithril and stuff that they can that I'm not gonna really do anything with. In all
honestly, that
honesty,
sounds like a
probably.
lot of art material, right? I do not quite
Yeah,
understand
like
art. I
you
know
can
it
do
makes
you.
people buy things more.
Oh, I'm sure you can make all sorts of stuff with 4 pounds of mithril. $10, 10 gold pieces worth of cool various fey leathers, or a fey tooth big enough to make into a dagger. I'm just reading through my inventory here, but I'm sure they'd love all of this.
Yeah, say I got nothing but knickknacks and such. I think Gale's bag of holding doesn't have a whole lot better, unless we want to give him a void dragon skeleton.
Not the whole.
Vasu's not willing to give up, but I also don't remember where I made these or why. But I'm very excited that I have them. I have 2 pairs of convincingly scary dentures in Vasu and shoe sizes. Does anybody remember why I did that?
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Because they
Okay.
were talking about bird teeth at some point, and
And I was like, I need to have them.
yeah,
Okay.
we,
Yeah, that sounds like me.
we found some spare teeth somewhere. I can't remember where.
I'm sure I just had a bunch of teeth on hand because I'm Vasu. Anywho,
I don't know if we've got anything that's going to be worth trading to him other than if we can just convince him, like you said, that that thing ain't going to bring him nothing but a bad time if they hold on to it.
Still stones we have now, we can use a few of them to craft something that will be of use to them, better than at least the engine. And then I feel like this trade would be better. But what shall we craft, friends?
Could you use magic to make something that just makes a bunch of food, a bunch of water for them to not have to go out and hunt and such anymore? Suspect hunting around here not real safe.
That's true.
I don't know if that's something you could do with a stone.
It It
It
might
is.
not be safe, but I mean, it would be efficient. They probably only have to hunt once in a while, and any of the things around here are gonna last them quite a while.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe something to help them hunt. Then we can make them a nice weapon or something.
Try that. Yes.
We might even have something in our stuff. What we got?
We got what weapons have we got here?
They might like the dagger at Dragon Feast, although I think we're gonna want that.
That's Gale's, I think.
Right.
Are they immune to poison?
You would know. Actually, give me a medicine check. I feel like with 35 on history, you would know that they're not immune to poison.
They're not.
I have poison.
I think poison might help them. Though I do not know if they wish to poison the meat they eat.
Well, what I'm saying is that we poison the meat that they eat, and then we sneak in, take the thing.
There is quite a few things to work around there.
Like what?
Like how much poison we have to the ratio of lizard folk we have to poison. And how long it takes to find.
I have 2 doses. That should be enough to poison one pterodon or whatever bat thing.
Perhaps we should sue for not making more enemies.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to try to do this peaceful if we can. Not that I'm opposed to the other option, but there's a whole lot of them. I guess is all I'm saying. I don't know if we can take on a couple hundred of these fellers.
This is also their territory. Out in the woods where they're not as prepared, that makes sense.
If nothing else, irrespective of whether we'd win or not, I don't know as I feel too great about coming to these people home and hurting them. I mean, they've got something that doesn't belong to them, so we're going to get it back one way or another. But if we can convince them to just make a trade or something, that'd be the best way to do it, I think. Make them a care package of all our unwanted magic weapons. Boomerang and the hammer and the mace.
Hmm.
I'll be right back real quick. I need to help Tetris the van real quick.
Good luck.
Tetris the van. Their leader, at least what appeared to be their leader last time, she appeared to be some sort of priestess.
Yeah, she was heavily decorated. She had a druidic focus. She had a lot of ornaments that looked vaguely religious, or at least useful in magical practices and rituals.
She didn't seem inclined to use big weapons, no.
She had a quarterstaff, but she didn't seem to use it much.
That's so my proposal, I suppose, is we expend a little bit of Void Dragon Bone, not all of it, to create something they would find very useful. That, or we knock down a tree and I fabricate it into a ballista.
Always a backup option.
How's that any different from poison?
We offer it to them.
Oh,
Wouldn't they just shoot us down?
Well, it would still be with us at the point, and then we can say, "Hey, you can attack those giant bats with this ballista."
Yeah, but I mean when we leave.
Why would they shoot us down after we've made a deal with them?
Because then they can have their cake and eat it too.
It would not do much damage to us.
It would do a lot of damage to the ship, though.
Oh, I'd block it.
By us, I mean it includes the ship. Yeah, we have Vasu. It's fine.
You think I'm scared of a ballista? Come on. A siege weapon? You guys don't think I'm like overconfident or something, do you?
Oh, incredibly.
You'd tell me if I was, right?
Of
Oh,
course.
okay.
But this is completely within your abilities. We have seen it.
Yeah.
This
Assuming
is
that
not
for the sake of
overconfidence.
assuming that for the sake of these rules, I can count the ship as a creature or an ally that I can block with this key feature, then yeah, it should be fine. Hey God,
Yes.
hypothetically speaking, can I block a ballista if it's targeting my ship? Consider
With
the ship a friendly ally?
with the stone wall thing?
Yeah.
I mean, potentially, yeah. It's it's a it's not a yes, you
Actually,
can.
it doesn't even say creature. It just says ally.
Yeah, it's an ally. I'll go with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're fine then.
I can think of no reason why
I
it would
ain't
have to be
scared.
a creature. So sure, why not?
That's fair. I'd probably rule the same. Why couldn't you defend a priceless vase? Because it's not alive. You know? It seems like a nerf to monks. But yeah, so perhaps I can make them a ballista or some other sort of weapon that'll help them defend themselves against the monsters here. After all, safety helps one live a simple life, right?
Certainly. Looking around, there's definitely plenty of trees that you could potentially use for it with the fabricate spell.
Should we maybe just ask them if we can have it first?
Sure. But we've already attacked them, and that will make them wary of us.
Technically, they attacked us.
We've had a skirmish with them. The technicality of the matter is simply we've drawn blood and we've killed some of them, so they will have a terse relationship with us. A peace offering would provide us some more measure of friendship. Is that what we call it?
Even neutrality would be good at this point. I think friendship might be a long shot.
Yeah, neutrality is better than hostility.
Um,
All right.
with that said, I couldn't understand them when they were talking to me. So, did anybody speak what they speak?
These ones will speak Draconic and Undercommon, which is not common.
It's undercommon.
I can speak Draconic.
Yeah,
If you give me like
Undercommon.
2 levels, literally anybody is unsafe from the not being able to understand me via language barrier.
I like the way that was worded.
Thanks.
Nobody is safe from listening to me.
I'm
Delightful.
going to talk to you whether you like it or not. No, it's Tongue of the Sun and Moon, I think is what it's called. It's a monk feature.
Yes. Vasu, you're a jeweler. Could you perhaps make some sort of jewelry?
I would certainly hope so.
They seem to be
What do you want me to
religious.
make?
Something in the style that they seem to have here. What was the high priest wearing, or the priestess, jewelry
Yeah,
wise?
would any of us have any sort of frame of reference for what
Yeah,
jewelry style is around here?
you guys had a combat with them, so you were able to see what they were wearing. It was you guys have some good perception too. It was a mix of just kind of furs, bones, wooden armor, lots of leathers and scraps. There were some precious stone and metal beads. Just kind of this very nature-oriented garb. Um, Lots of animal bones. Kind of your typical lizard folk stuff.
Cool. Animal bones, that's totally up your alley.
Classic, lizard folk.
From what we saw them wearing and stuff and their symbol, do we know what god this particular tribe worshipped?
Give me a religion check.
32.
That's pretty good. Um, you don't recognize the god. Um, but wait for it. How do I put this? What would you know? What would you get? What would you get? Yeah, you don't recognize the god as any of the major gods or any gods that you're currently aware of.
What does the symbol depict?
So the staff that she was using and the druidic focus that she was using was kind of an amalgamation of seashells, bird bones, and a wooden staff. It didn't really have any like religious symbol or anything like that you could tell. But again, it looked to be more druidic than like a holy symbol to you.
Hmm. But the symbols we saw that were.
You have not seen like the classical idea of a holy symbol on any of them.
Okay, no, they don't seem to have a very clear one, but we know their style. I helped Vasu point out their style.
Gil does have a nuke.
Let's just nuke them, you know?
Yeah, I do try to refrain from genocide.
Yeah, I kind of have plans for this thing.
I generally don't refrain from genocide, but I'm feeling wholesome.
I try
today.
not to do it if I can help it. It doesn't sit
It's
right
the
with me.
anthropologist in me. It's really hard to study a culture when you've utterly destroyed it.
Anywho, what are we making? Something with bones and jewels?
Bones, jewels, seashells, if you can find any.
Maybe.
Perhaps a headdress.
I mean, I could probably spare a few feathers.
You want to put your own feathers in the headdress?
Maybe. I mean, I think I've got plenty.
If you do not mind, I suppose it would go well. It would go well.
In fact,
Uh huh.
if I were to just pluck like 3 or 4 of the real big feathers from like my head plume, would like they grow back, right?
They grow back. Yeah.
Or like plucking a few
Like hair.
wouldn't like make it look like I have a bald spot or anything.
No. Yeah. I mean, that's you're just preening. It'd be like, I mean,
Cool.
so like doing it ahead of time might hurt a little bit. It's like ripping out a little chunk of hair, but you know, like a nose hair.
Beauty is pain.
While they're prepping whatever the gift this is that they're prepping, can I find a critter around here? Preferably one that looks like hyper local. It's not like a bird, but like a rodent or something that looks like it lives close to here.
Sure. Give me either survival or animal handling or a luck check. With an 18, you start to look around for the tracks of any sort of animal that seems to be non-moving, something that lives permanently nearby. And you find one eventually. In fact, you find several. You spot, kind of tucked around behind the trunk of one of the large trees near the clearing, this mound of dirt that goes almost halfway up the side of the tree. And it's got several of these like quarter-sized holes that poke out of it at different points. And you can see that coming and going in some of these holes are inch-and-a-half long, mouse-sized ants.
Gross. Dordo will take a knee next to this anthill.
Yummy.
Be like, delicious. Hey, y'all look pretty busy. You got a minute to talk?
You activate your speak with animals, and you
Oh
hear
yeah, sorry.
just a unanimous response from several, like, okay, I guess. And like several of these voices all respond at the same time, and then like the ones that say it all duck into holes and new ones come out. And it's almost as if the whole swarm is speaking to you in response.
I take it y'all saw a big thing what crashed over there a few days ago.
3 or 4 voices from up above you on one of the branches of the tree are like, yeah, we saw some big thing over there.
What happened to it?
From behind you. I don't know, just showed up out of nowhere. Set a whole lot of stuff on fire. Lost a whole bunch of good men that day. And then the big ones they came and took it away.
Big ones being the standing alligator looking fellers.
Yeah, the big munchers.
Didn't see anybody else or nothing, just they came and picked it all up.
There were a lot of them. We had to kind of lay low for a couple of days. Lost a lot of good men those days too. 30 or 40.
Alright then.
Small little, small nest, but still, they've got us beat on size. We can't eat them as well as they eat us.
Alright then. Sounds like y'all got some work to do. I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you.
All right.
I'll toss them some food of some sort.
Oh, yeah. Several of them start to swarm around. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, our story checks out with what we thought it was. Nobody else been here besides lizard folk. They just all came and picked it up. Must have just done a real good job picking it all clean.
The only
They didn't see
reason I
how
can...
they moved it, did they?
Hmm.
It looks like they took it in them carts over there. Hey, they use carts to move it.
Most of it. Some of them came in and out of the trees with the little bits. Some of our men went into the weird little portals that they made to try to figure out how it worked. We lost a lot of good men those days.
Oh, portals. Hmm.
But yeah, they used looked to me anyway, like they used the same trick you use. There's footprints over here that walk right into a tree and just
Oh,
disappear.
yeah.
Yeah, they dug big
Makes
holes
sense.
into the sides of the trees, and then they went into the holes, and then the holes filled themselves back up. Strangest thing. They might be better at digging than we are.
I agree.
We'll have to advance.
Freaks me out too. I don't understand it.
All of nature is connected in some way.
I think shit. I think shit's the way it's all connected.
I would have said dirt, but that's close enough. It's basically the same thing.
Hmm.
Alternatively, I think it doesn't know this. Never mind.
I mean, everybody popes. It's true.
It's a very
An ant
wise ant.
poop?
It's a
I've
very,
never seen an ant.
it's a very wise and astrologically knowledgeable ant.
This is the ant guru.
I'm gonna eat him.
Do you?
It's never occurred to me as
I'll obtain his power. I imagine Gail's looking at them a little hungrily.
I was gonna say, if you're the bug
Shu
eating kind of
probably is
folk,
too.
yeah, like as far as bugs go, these things look pretty big and squishy and tasty.
It is
You know what?
unfortunate about intelligence.
Shu is still a creature of base needs. Shu is going to try to eat one while Nordo is talking to them.
Okay. Sure. Give me an like I don't know, either a stealth roll to just pick one off sneakily or like an attack roll. That'll work. 10 is plenty more than enough to hit an ant. Shu goes over and he kind of just pins one of these ants and begins to kind of rip its head off and twist. And there's a little oh no, and then a snap
No,
and a pop.
he's got flyby. It's like that one comic where like the two rabbits are talking about life, and then the owl just swoops in and snatches one of them, and then the other one's just like sitting there looking mortified.
Perfect. Excellent.
That's how Shu do.
Excellent. You do see, or Shu does see that it's very good that it was kind of a precise grab and go, because almost instantaneously after that ant is snatched up, several of the nearby ants just immediately begin to kind of pool around it and come to its aid. But they're just too slow,
Oh no.
and Shu is in and out before they're able to catch.
I kill some Kuatoa trying to sacrifice children. It's all guilt trips for me. Pick off a guy in the middle of a conversation. Peaceful guy just talking.
Shu! Nordo, in your head, you hear Shu very clearly speaking in Shu's voice. Fuck you, I was hungry.
There's no ethical consumption under capitalism or non-veganism, I guess, or
Nordo's not
something. I don't
opposed
know.
to, eat or be eaten, but he doesn't understand the weird disparity other people make between, like, quote unquote intelligent creatures and animals, since they can all talk to him.
I was gonna say that'd be a little weird, like knowing that all of
Mhm.
these animals can speak, potentially.
There's an in-character reason why Nordo doesn't view humanoids as intrinsically more ethically valuable than animals.
I don't understand this speak with animals bill. Does it make them more intelligent?
So the way that I've
No,
always
they're just
imagined
already that
it,
intelligent, and you just didn't understand them.
the way that I always imagined it, is that magic, God, so the way like magic gives them the ability to have the way that they communicate translated into speech for you. Not that they're really capable of speech on their own and just need a translator, but like their little squeaks and noises are magically turned into words that you can understand. But really, it's kind of all just primal based thoughts that are converted by magic. But I don't know. It probably works
Thanks,
differently
man.
for different people.
So as far as Nordo with zero magical knowledge knows, it's just the seven of you don't know how to speak animal, and he does, and you
Yeah,
guys all treat animals like nothing because you can't speak their language.
legit.
Except Nomad. He can speak everyone's language.
Being
That's not
said,
true. I guess telepathy doesn't let you talk to animals. Never
it
mind.
doesn't let me. They need that. They need at least one language to be able to understand my telepathy.
Right.
Which is weird because you give them a language.
Right.
So if it speaks to Nordo and I read his mind, can I understand?
You'd be able to kind of get the same sense of what he's understanding. Yeah. It'd all be flavored like Nomad or like Nordo's thoughts. It wouldn't be in the ant's voice or anything like that, but yeah.
I only have an inkling of druid magic in me. One of them lets us turn into clouds, and the other one lets us step through trees.
The important ones.
I'm so excited to play a druid again. They're so dumb and everything they do is so weird.
I don't think I can ever play like a druid straight.
Oh, of course not. It'd be
A gay
torture.
druid though is fine.
Yeah. No, I can
Pretty sure
only
you can't say straight on Twitch anymore.
I can only
By which I mean, yeah, I can't like play a druid as a druid. I'd have to flavor it as something else.
anyway. The world is still your oyster. Anything else you guys want to check out here?
Yeah.
Or anything?
So
Do you want to go
Vasu's
on to crafting? That's right. We were going to make some jewelry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a check if you want to spend
I
like.
explain. Try not to use as many, like too many metals. They seem to prefer natural. If you were to make something metal beads, would work out.
Okay, then yeah, I probably won't use too much of that mithril aside from what I maybe typed out the plan for.
Sure.
Just like some little wire accents or whatever, if I can do that. Let me see what else I have in my inventory. I've got Fey leathers, which I'm sure they would love. Maybe I'll try to do like a little hangy neck skirt bit off the back of this headdress thing with some of
You
that.
mean the scarf?
No, it's I don't know if there's a term for it. I'm sure there is, and if there is, I don't know the term for it. But
Nude?
like, what?
Nude?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
can't
more
say
like a
that on
shawl. Anywho, I've got 10 gold worth of various Fey leathers and 4 pounds of mithril and just like a bunch of bones. I have 13 flying serpent teeth. I know there were some still stones people were contributing to this. Point is, I've got a lot of neat stuff. Not a snoot.
Excellent. I didn't know that was called a snood, by the way, and I love it.
What the hell is a
I
neck
hate
skirt?
that. Why is it called it? No, it's like okay, like imagine okay, like imagine a coat. Like imagine the tailcoats of a coat, right? Now like imagine that on like the back, just the back of your neck, and it sort of hangs down on the back of your neck and like
Oh, a
maybe over your
scarf.
shoulders a little bit. It's not a scarf because it doesn't wrap all the way around your neck. I don't know if there's actually a thing for this or if this is a thing at all.
Huh.
Ooh, here's my roll. Fuck off.
Oh yeah, like the weird ribbon things that Lloyd had. Okay.
Yeah,
No, not even that, because those just like dangle off of
it's
his
exactly
shoulders. Like
that
I'm
though.
imagining.
You are describing a
No,
scarf that you
no,
have on the ground.
I am, for the record.
no, that's
I
not what I'm imagining.
whatever this is, I'm intrigued, and I need you to like either draw or find a picture of it because I have to know what you're talking about.
I don't. I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, doodle it.
Anyway, with a 29, using the limited workspace available, you're still able to make something that is very, very nice. Using some of this mithril wire that you kind of already made, a lot of natural things, some of your own feathers, a couple of precious stones and minerals that you've already got, and just this very nice ornamental neck piece. We'll call it a neck piece until we figure out what the hell it actually is. And that probably takes maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, working very, very quickly, while everybody else is kind of doing their investigation and trying to get a good sense for what's going on at the crash site.
What if it's like a cape, but only for the back of your neck? Is that description any better? I don't know if it is or not. I'm imagining like a very specific thing for like a reptilian headdress. I don't know if it's. I don't know if my head
Not a
image is
skirt.
translating at all.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
not a skirt. It's not a scarf. It's not a snood. It's totally different.
Here, let's do this together like a family. I'm going to draw a lizard folk head, and I want you to draw this thing on it.
This is the best session ever.
Okay, there's a lizard man from the side.
Perfect. So I'm imagining for a headdress. I'm like not gonna get detailed about this at all, but you know you've got something like that,
Okay.
and maybe there's like the nice circlet that I made out of some mithril wire and some bones and whatnot. You know, it's real fancy, and then there are like some feathers that I plucked from my own head. And then like I was imagining like I don't know if I have the bone or the proper head measurements of a lizard man to make like a full on skull mask or
Sure.
whatever, but something like that maybe. maybe not that so much bone, but the point of contention here. Called me out on that cake for your neck shit. Shut up. The point of contention here, the dumbass smooth brain point that I've been trying to put into words this whole time and are just clearly failing, is like maybe with some of the leathers, there's like something like this,
Oh,
and like it's layered, and
a
it goes down his
coif?
shoulders,
Kind of like a coif?
and then his back, and it's
Okay.
is
You mean
that a
the thing that
coif?
cricket-
Maybe that's the word for it. A coif or a cowl. It's definitely not a snood. It's definitely not a neck cape or a neck skirt or whatever dumb shit I was trying to call it. But something like that.
Okay, alright. Oh, it's not called a coif
Yeah,
either.
Yeah.
What the hell
Yeah,
is
like
it?
I could make that with leather.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm proud
I'm
of it.
sorry for being so words dumb. I'm not a fashionista. I don't know what a coif is called.
You don't have to
Apparently-
know what the quip, but describing it as a skirt
So-
is like really confusing.
After 10 seconds
Is
of
that what I
making
called it
sure,
at first? A neck skirt?
Yeah, a neck skirt.
Oh no.
after 10 seconds of checking whether or not I'm an idiot on Google, apparently it's pronounced quaff or coif.
I
It's
thought
not.
so.
It's not coif. Quaff maybe. And also it's not
Isn't
technically
coif also like a hairstyle?
maybe, but apparently the quaff part
Mm.
is the part that wraps around the head. So it's like, oh my god, that's way too big. But it would be like this part, and not necessarily the part that comes out below. So I still don't know what that part below down. Anyway.
I don't know what it's called either, but I've seen it on like reptilian anthro armor designs, and even in like Final Fantasy on like the Banga guys and stuff. I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
word for it. I like that kind of armor.
2
It's a
years
thing
from
now. I'm trying to make that whatever it's called in this universe.
2 years from
The
now,
neck
when
skirt.
when this campaign finally catches on and we get thousands of people that are coming back to rewatch all these old episodes, some guy who knows
Like,
everything
you fucking idiot! It's called a.
exactly, he'll know, and he'll be angry that he can't tell us.
I think we're gonna get banned because you just assumed it's gonna be a he.
Oh, I'm so
Wow.
sorry,
How dare
Twitch.
you.
So sorry.
How dare.
Okay. Anyway, you get that good to go. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to do while you're here at the site? And if not, where are you guys headed?
That's the next question. We're just gonna walk
Go
right
to the
up to this
village.
place, or so? What's the play here, Nomad? You gonna pretend to be lizard folk, or do we just say come right out with the situation as it is? We're not from here, but y'all have something belongs to us. We'd like to make a trade.
That sounds about as reasonable as we can be. Um, n- not approach. I will not approach with weapons. I will have a shield in my back. Let me see if I have that prepared.
So I can actually use this for the right thing for the first time ever. In order to mold earth a little hole in the ground and bury his axe and disappear.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yes, theatrics. It's the best.
Give the illusion of not entering with a weapon, but really, I always have.
You're
a weapon.
always armed. Yeah. I suppose we should wait for Vasu to finish his jewelry.
After 15, 20 minutes
Is it
of
finished?
additional work, he's able
Don't
to
rush
finish it there.
perfection. Do you have any idea how long it takes to make a neck skirt?
That's why I said it. Wait, what is a neck skirt?
Darling, I just drew it. What more do you want from me? Do you want me to spell it out for you with the alphabet? Which alphabet do you want, honey?
He is able to finish.
How many
it.
letters am I
But
allowed to use? How many are you comfortable with?
Perhaps do not call it a neck.
What else am I supposed to call it?
Neck pleats.
Ugh, fashion is so hard.
All right. He's able to finish the thing, whatever it is, and he shows you, and it becomes clear all at once what he was trying to make. Christ.
What is that?
Beautiful.
No, not a neck brace. Stop.
All right. It sounds like you guys are planning
You
on
guys are
just
being so mean to me.
kind of heading over. Are you walking on foot, or are you going to take your ship? And if you're taking the ship, are you going invisible or visible?
It's for short rest. I think we've already been invisible.
That's right. It only lasts for an hour.
This is the same city we've been to invisibly, right? Or is it a different one?
I don't think any of you have ever been to this city. As you were flying over, you were able to kind of take a look at it through the spyglass. But as far as I know, none of you have been to this city.
Oh no, I mean like this is the one we spied on.
Yeah, you
Well,
have
Also,
you have briefly spied on it.
hypothetically speaking, flying over a city is all I need for my background feature to be good.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, you know the rough layout.
Geography?
Yeah, it's that cartographer shit, yo.
Hi, Ace.
Hello. What are we doing?
Hello. We're talking about neck
We're
braces.
figuring out. We're figuring out how to peacefully trade this engine piece with the lizard folk who attacked us last time.
What engine piece?
The thing we came here for.
Wait,
Specifically.
are we trading for it or are we trading it to them?
Yeah. We're trading for it because they've collected.
They have it, and we're trying to get it back without having to murder like 300 lizard folk. So we're hoping to just trade them because it's only bad news for them. It's not they have no use for it.
All right. So without the invisibility, that still leaves the question: are you going on foot, or are you taking the ship non-invisibly and flying up to their doorstep
I'm going up, not invisible. Like
on the ship?
Yeah.
Day is it?
It is.
on foot.
Notably, if you're traveling on foot, it will probably be about hour,
We'll
maybe
fly
longer.
close, but they'll just leave the ship.
That makes
I
sense.
say I don't know.
Sorry.
Otherwise, just walking through the jungle around here is terribly safe.
Yeah, don't want to walk through this bullshit. You see,
Still like early morning though, isn't it?
It's like noonish, I think.
About
we
noonish,
had a
yeah.
short rest.
We rest last night,
Did we?
and then we just started off in the
Oh,
morning.
yeah.
Remember we were attacked?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd got like 3 encounters during the short rest, but we did get one.
Okay, cool. Let me just recover some of my.
So wait, how do we know that they recovered the engine?
The dragon
And-
told us, and also the
Right.
ants around here told us, and we found out from a few different sources.
Is it the? I thought there were. Oh, so is she one of the engines? I thought she just wanted something on the ship.
It's apparently like attached to the engines. The part she doesn't really know a whole lot about it, but she says it would have been with the engines.
Gotcha.
It's some part that tracks the SSLC's like headquarters and protects from its automatic defenses.
Gotcha. Sounds important.
But yeah, so we'll approach close enough on the ship, and then I'm just gonna descend. This guy is just like a lizard folk.
All right. So the plan is to fly a little bit closer, stop a good ways out of the city, get off of the ship, and then trek the rest of the way on foot. And so you guys set off and begin to do exactly that. Let me get a piloting check from somebody and a perception check from somebody on watch.
I'll make perception.
Me too.
Excellent. I love Elias.
What? That's sad. It's still a 14 though.
Still 14, pretty good. Ace is mostly watching ahead towards the city, trying to keep an eye out for lizard folk scouts or anybody that might have spotted. He's watching the river down below. He is able to spot with the 14 a couple of just small groups of lizard folk that are kind of fishing from the river. I'll wait until I get a piloting check from somebody to see if you guys are spotted by those people. But regardless, and before we
I
get
can't
to
do
that,
that.
somebody can go for it.
It's probably Gale because Flick and Mode are both not here.
I'm not good at flying, which is very ironic.
It was a weird.
That's weird to hear
That's
you say.
that's like saying that you can drive a car because you can run fast.
I can control myself, but like you put, so many tons of real mythwood around me, and I get scared.
Look at this.
That's a
guy
lot of
remembering the word
liability.
real myth.
I did. That took me a second.
It's impressive.
While we're waiting for that vehicles check from somebody, with the 26 Nordo, you do actually see something about this point in the journey, about halfway to where you're planning on getting off of the ship to get on foot. You spot kind of over to the west, through all the fog and cloud covers, something very large that seems to kind of fly up, matching your speed, probably about 300 feet to your west. Something vaguely cyanish, with a single large eye that kind of looks towards you. And you kind of just get the vague outline of this huge creature through the fog and the cloud and the mist as you're diving through the cloud cover. And it seems to just kind of watch, and it slows its wing pattern, tries to match your speed, and you can tell that this very large dragon-like shape just kind of observes and then flies off and kind of dips back down into the clouds and up and away. You hear heavy wing beats, and you see the swirling of clouds and smoke and mist, and then it's gone. And at least for the next 10 or 15 seconds, there's no sign of it.
Well, I think Pat went and told his mom about us after all. Guess she doesn't have any quarrel with us for the moment.
Good.
I guess the important question is, did he take those drugs from me? Okay.
No.
I just wanted to.
I think we talked ourselves out of that
Sure,
plan.
no, do not give this.
I just wanted to clarify with Feck for the canon of it all, because that does make the relationship with his mom very different
It certainly would, wouldn't it?
for us.
I'm pretty sure you guys talked yourselves out of it.
He ended up walking away with like a garnet that Nomad gave him and said, like, "Don't tell your mom where you got this," which was never going to happen. But that was the situation.
We should have told him to specifically tell his mom where he got it from, and made it really sound really boring, like we were salesmen.
I need another garnet. That's actually a spell component.
Well, let's see if we can get our business done
Hello?
with here before that turns into a whole new problem.
Oh, why
Right.
do we have a dragon?
Not
Yes.
anymore. It left for a few seconds. Just a few
Oh.
seconds. We're not
It's
sure.
like
where
it
it
was at least Big Brother, maybe Mama from last week. But didn't seem especially interested in messing with us, just checking in, I guess.
All right. You guys are able to kind of sail over to the destination where you plan on finishing
Can
on
I-
foot. Yes.
This is like ultra retroactive. I don't know if you'll let me do it or not. When Pat was talking to us, did we get the impression that the lizard folk are like the dragon's followers, like worshipping the dragon?
Do you speak Draconic?
Oh, no, I don't. Never mind. I don't even have
I
that question.
do.
I don't speak Draconic.
I don't
Okay.
know if I was probably there for it, and I was very paranoid about everything the whole time.
I seem to remember you saying that you were staying very close to Gale intentionally to like kind of protect him. You can give me an insight check if you want. It's going to be a difficult read, but you can go for it.
Is that for me or him?
Yeah,
or
for you.
both of us?
For Vasu.
So I remember him talking about the lizard folk, but I don't remember him saying what sort of relationship the dragons had with lizard folk.
Yeah, with a 35, what relationship
Great.
do they have with dragons?
You would know with your Vasu. You didn't really get a strong sense. You were kind of focused on just making sure that he didn't like suddenly try to want to eat Gale or something like that. And you didn't really catch any nuance in the way that he talked about the lizard folk. With your history of 35, you would know that most lizard folk, most societies that you're aware of, don't have any super strong relationships with dragons. They treat them just like any other culture would, probably with some fear and respect and not fucking with them if possible. However, you're able to make it maybe a 5-minute, 10-minute hike away from the village, and you're able to set the ship down and pocket it and deboard and just begin hiking over. You do notice along the way that there are a handful of lizard folk groups way down the side of the mountain by the Valley River doing some fishing. They don't seem to notice you or the ship as you pass by. You have your expert pilot kind of just keeping close to the tree line and under the cover of that fog. Which seems to help a lot.
Oh, that seems actually useful. Do you think it's a good idea, friends, if we just wave down those people fishing and ask them if we could go to their city instead of going there unannounced?
Yeah, I think that seems a safer bet than because little orc. How many did you say was in that city? 300 something.
How many did I say? God?
It was something in that ballpark, and I'll have to find the exact number.
Something in that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think just walking right up to it probably ain't the safest bet. Maybe, like I said, find a couple that are on their own to talk to us.
Do I know anything about their culture to know whether or not they are like ethnocentric, hate outsiders, kill people on sight?
Oh,
We did
they're yeah. We've had a
we did a super deep dive into that because Nomad Nat 20 his our anthropology check on lizard folk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
You with his like nat 20 for 35, his incredible thing, and I won't do a full recap because we spent a long time doing it. But the general sense that you got is that not a lot of people know about anything over on these islands, but you do have a good general knowledge of other lizard folk cultures from areas not too far to the northwest. And they tend to be a little bit cold to outsiders, not necessarily aggressive, but they tend to be a little isolationist. And if you can provide something very useful to them, they might be interested, but a lot of the time they just kind of want you gone.
cool. All right, doesn't then I guess this sounds like a reasonable idea.
One just minor thing as we're sailing. Just ask Leah, do you anything else on the ship you need? Personal effects you left behind or anything like that?
Nothing worth risking lives over now. I mean, I had like some clothing and things like that, but
replaceable things.
replaceable things, yes.
All right, then.
Nomad wonders kind of to himself, what clothing does Leo wear? Because he's only seen Nordo in like a bloody skirt. Nothing else. He doesn't even change it.
Say it's been like 4 months. Nordo has not changed clothes.
The clothing that she was wearing when you rescued her was very kind of tattered and worn. It looked like it had been through combat. But it was actually kind of very swashbuckly. She had like a big, heavy, dark canvas coat that went down to about her ankles. She had just kind of a vest on and a nice pair of pants with a fairly showy belt across the middle. Yeah, just kind of swashbuckly. And yes, she does have a pretty dope ass pirate hat. She's got that tricorn.
Is Leah my size?
No, well, I mean, height wise, probably about a foot and a half shorter. Width wise, probably like almost 3 times your width.
Okay. I'm just curious because I have shit. Maybe I got rid of it. Where is it? I got a really cool pirate coat that I took off of some pirate we fought. That she could maybe wear as like a sick vest.
She could probably turtle clothing is weird and generally has to be modified.
It's
but
more of a tarp.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong.
You
Typically
kind
it
of
has to
just
be
drape
modified.
it over the shell. It
Yeah.
should be fine.
With that said, this is
A
a world.
stylish tarp.
This is a world that has a lot of strange creatures, so a lot of tailors are good at adapting clothing to weird, shapes and sizes. But yeah, turtle clothing, kind of a tarp.
But very stylish tarps in many shapes and
Is
sizes.
a stylish tarp just a moo?
I think it's called a neck scarf.
Shut up.
Neck scarf.
All right. So did you guys want to stop early?
It's only a neck scarf because it doesn't wrap around to her chest too.
Yeah. Did you guys want to stop early and try to talk to some of those fishing lizard folk, or continue up to the city?
I would like to talk to
I
Flick.
think let's stop and
Oh.
talk to some stragglers.
Perfect.
Go that first.
Let's have Gale talk to Flick first on the trip over.
Yes.
Real quick. This was kind of gonna be. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna just give this to you now. I was gonna work on it a little bit more, but here I'm gonna give Flick the dimensional shackles.
Okay. What are these for? I mean, if
Kinky.
you want to do that, I mean,
No, I mean, I'm no.
okay.
That Well, there's that demon guy that's after you, right?
Oh yeah,
But
right.
every time we beat him, he just kind of poofs back to the other plane, and then like regenerates or whatever.
hmm
This, if we can get these on him, this will prevent him from doing that, and I think that'll mean he just dies here.
Oh, that's really good. Hell yeah. Okay.
Um,
Sure.
if
Thank you.
Yeah. If nothing else, it'll at least prevent him from going back and regenerating. So he'll be functionally a corpse.
That's the best kind of corpse.
I think.
Corpse we can deal with. Weird, smoky demon thing can't deal with. So yeah, this works. Cool. Thank
I
you.
don't know if it'll work for sure, but um,
It's worth trying at least.
yeah, that's what I thought. It'll also work on pretty much most things that are large or smaller.
You deal with enough weird stuff that I'm sure it could come in handy at some point. So like, are they reusable, or is it like a one and done thing, or?
Yep, totally reusable. I've
Okay.
set it up so that any of us can take them off or put them on people, but anybody else can't unless they make a athletics check, but they can only do that once per month.
What happens if they like use magic to command one of us to take it off of them?
I'm just gonna hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you say that, but isn't that what they were doing last time? Was controlling us?
You just
Then
gotta get
we
better at
cover their mouth
doing things.
that they can't give us commands.
I'll just shackle his face, then he can't talk. It's perfect.
Once you put them on somebody, you can designate different people that can and cannot take them on and off. So
Gotcha.
Can I designate no one can take them off, and then they're just stuck?
unfortunately, I had to put in a failsafe to make sure that somebody could because they're real nasty if nobody can.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, I'm bound by the whims of the structure that we use to play this game.
Nordo, what's up?
Also, just on this short flight over, in order to find Gale above deck sometime after that conversation with Flick. Like, hey, I think this is going to go smoothly with Little Dragon, but just in case it doesn't, let's go through those exercises again one more time.
All right.
I'm going to cast this on myself and on KO. Getting quicker.
This is helping. It's a lot different from what Vasu usually does.
Yeah, his is a whole lot more wet yoga and meditating on the elements.
Don't
and
forget the
such.
screaming.
And
A
that
lot
too.
of screaming and then like essential oils, which just make my nose feel
Essential
funny.
oils. We did a lot more footwork and practicing with weapons at my monastery. Just a different approach. Anyhow, we'll keep exercising at it. You're getting better already.
Thanks.
I don't know if I should be offended or not. I don't think
Of course
I don't
not.
think Voss is enough of a hippie to subscribe to like the essential oils thing. Are
That's
those even
bullshit, you know
hippies?
it.
Are those not?
No,
Those aren't hippies.
Those are moms.
Yeah, Voss is not a white mom. Shut up.
All right.
Definitely burns incense at his meditation sessions, though. Essential oils. That's ridiculous, though.
For putting the 1d8 into the initiative thing, does it need to be in brackets?
Nope. So
Or
if
just
you
1d8?
let's see, what is the command that you type? I think it's just 1d8. Yep, there you go. Perfect. All right. Back to the
Right.
question again: fisherman or front gate?
Fisherman first, right?
Kill them.
All right.
No.
Oh, right.
Try commits genocide.
No, I just want to
We
fight
are
some.
yeah. We are not homeless murderers.
All right. You begin to pull the ship down into the valley, breaching through the bottom of the fog cloud, and coming into view. And as you get lower and lower, you can see um, there's this group of three lizard folk kind of at the bank of this stream. They appear to be fishing. Um, Christ. And you do see a little bit down the way, maybe about a mile and a half. There is another small group, probably about four of them, that are around a campfire that has a couple of tents nearby. But again, they appear to be at a mile and a half away. Um, and as you breach
they're
clear
far.
and begin to approach, it does seem that the ones that are fishing definitely spot you. And they immediately kind of pull their things back, make sure that they've got everything together, and they watch you very closely. Each of them does have a kind of weapons at the ready. They aren't like throwing them or firing arrows or anything yet, but they definitely have. One of them has a longbow at the ready. Two of them have melee weapons just kind of held at their side as the ship kind of
How
approaches.
far away are they?
They are able to spot you from a good maybe 700 or 800 feet. Um, is when you're able to kind of first spot everything going on. And then they just wait. They don't approach. They don't run. They can tell that you're, coming their way, and they wait.
Quick, Vasu, tell him we just want to talk.
No, don't yell it.
I'm real good at
Yeah.
that.
When we touch down, Nomad just kind of puts his shield on his back and then like raises his arms up to show he's unarmed and drifts closer.
All right. I need
It's a weird D pose.
any three of you, the three of you that kind of want to be the first faces seen by these people, to give me some sort of charisma check, whether it's persuasion to try to appear friendly, intimidation to get them
Oh,
to
boy.
stand down, just your choice of some sort of persuasion or intimidation or something to get an initial read.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'll need a bonus action to at least give me proficiency in this.
Oh no, guys.
11.
I'd like to point out I have a +8.
Outstanding.
I don't want to roll for this. Okay, wow. Maybe I
Uh,
should have, but
May I use my inspiration?
You certainly can.
Might as well.
Oh, I guess I should too.
It's the same one. It's not negative, at least.
Be right back, Boots. You're
Oh,
donating.
God,
look at
I
that.
really
Oh.
heard it.
That's amazing.
That
good
is
Thank
shit.
frick.
that is amazing, actually.
Oh, we needed it actually desperately. The T pose is unreadable.
Rhoda tries to walk up like a Russian bouncer, like, this is going to be peaceful, as long as you let it be peaceful. And it doesn't work super well.
All right. As you guys begin to approach, Nordo kind of takes this aggressive stance, this intimidating stance, that is not quite in line with what Nomad and Gale are going for. And one of the lizard folk that are watching kind of like locks eyes with Nordo, uh, immediately kind of recognizes this intimidating aggression, and just almost instinctively goes into fight or flight mode. Pulls the longbow and he's going to fire once at Nordo. Does a
You gotta catch it.
23 hit.
He gets to catch it. has to roll damage. Oh, it's caught.
Outstanding. So yeah, Norda will reach up and snatch the arrow out of the air and not throw it back, just sort of set it down and again put up a hand. Doesn't speak these people's language, doesn't say anything, but try to gesture that like we just want to talk.
Perfect.
He's immune to arrows.
And thankfully, as soon as that all happened, the two others that seem to be a little more focused on the fact that you are all unarmed and non-threatening, and Gale especially is doing his best to kind of make everything appear that you just want to talk. They put their arm up and they try to like stop the guy with the longbow, and he eventually kind of like settles down. And they all wait and listen as you guys begin to either come down the rope ladder or the ramp or however you've got this set up to deboard your airship. And eventually, one of them, the tallest one, steps up, weapon still at the ready, and begins to speak in Undercommon, and in you've got a background for this. Surprisingly fluent, but also surprisingly old-fashioned Undercommon, the Undercommon equivalent of these and thous. And he asks, "Why are you here? Why have you brought disease from the outside?"
We've come to take disease from the outside.
What is the meaning of that?
There was a ship here that crashed. You are familiar with it?
Yes, we've already cleaned
Made
that
of
disease.
wood and metal.
It has been sent for
Yes.
penance.
For penance. Could you please explain this? I am unfamiliar with your culture, I said, having rolled a 35.
Explain your culture to me as if I did not roll a 35.
I would rather hear it from you rather than explain it myself. That seems like it would come off as really bad.
This is why. This is why.
Could you imagine-
let me mansplain your own culture to you.
Could you imagine some anime fan explaining to an actual Japanese person how their culture works?
This is for the record why I really hate the concept of degrees of success, because sometimes a 35 still isn't going to give you the answers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Um, you've already set foot on our lands. You've already brought your filth. We'll need to take you to be cleansed, or you can flee, and the sea will cleanse you for us.
Could you explain the cleansing?
You don't mean like ethnic cleansing, do you?
Not quite. You've come from the outside, yes? From the
This is
disease
correct.
beyond?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Undercommon. I only said that out of character for the bit.
That's fair.
So you keep saying disease and cleanse. Are you saying this? You have to be very patient with me here. I cannot. I have issues with metaphors. You see, is it a literal disease, or do you mean, the outside is a disease metaphorically?
Boy, how do they even answer that?
Be pragmatic, friend. I mean,
We've all been
acquaintance.
vaccinated to diseases that we've never even heard of. It's probably for the best if you just leave.
Our elders warn of a diseased beyond, and that people will come from the outside to try to make us mingle with it, make us adapt, make us become one with the disease. Several have tried. They have brought gifts, they have brought technology, they've brought foreign dark magics, diseased magics. None of them are suitable for us. All of them
I
must be
see.
cleansed. It is not healthy for our people. We have tried in the
Oh,
past, and it has always brought ruin.
I see. In this case, disease is advancement.
Regression
Understood. Have a
towards
good day.
towards death.
Regression towards death. That just sounds like entropy, which will happen whether we are here or not. We will leave as soon as we find a part of that ship you have cleansed. If you could point us the direction of where that ship is.
If
the
you seek
sooner we will leave.
if you seek the disease that was brought here a few days ago, it has been taken to be cleansed at the palace. And he kind of motions in the direction that you guys were already heading towards the city.
He nods. May we take it with us? Away from this place?
It has already been sent to Purgatory, but perhaps we could send you there as well. And
You
as I said,
mean burned?
burned, no, not by us. It has been sent into the yawning, gaping void.
Yeah, explain the cleansing. Is it a shower?
Right, same. I'm trying to make sure that
You know,
he doesn't know everything either.
I've always said there's nothing more I love than a gaping void.
I don't know all the details, only that if we are to find anything from the outside, we're to take it to the priests. They toss it into the portal, where it is cleansed, where it is sent through Purgatory, expunged from our lands.
Hmm. One moment, please. So, friends, it seems like they've taken the part we need and sent it to another plane.
Well, how do we get there?
Shrug. Spoken, not done. And then immediately after, he does a shrug as if he just remembering, oh, it's a physical thing I have to do.
Do they tell you which plane they sent it to? Is it one we got to do another chicken ritual about, or
Do you know which void place this purgatory is?
The yawning, gaping void is within the palace. That's all I know of it.
Uh, Nomad translates because he speaks Undercommon. And it's just, yeah, yawning gaping void in the palace.
can you ask them if we'd be welcome there to come look for it? Are we gonna get shot when we try to walk into the city? Or can we just walk up there and ask to see it?
From what it sounds like, they do not accept gifts that are too, how you say, exterior. It's not from here. So Vasu's headdress, which is very much in the style here, might be accepted. They would not accept, say, another airship or another stillstone or a ballista.
I guess that rules out that plan. Might need to
There are other things we could
still
make.
think our best offer is explaining to them that if they keep that, they're going to be in trouble with the company.
Mm. These fishermen believe that it has been thrust through a yawning, gaping portal. Their words, and sent to purgatory. Also, their words.
Still, if it crashed here, and the company knows it crashed here, then still come here looking for it.
This is true. If the
I don't know if
palace is
these are
keeping it, it will then they will target the palace.
I don't know if these are the right people to talk to about it. It's just a bit of a pickle because imagine the right people to talk to about it are pretty well protected.
Yeah. Do you think we should ask them for an introduction to the city so we
Could
don't just appear?
couldn't hurt. If they laugh like the idea is ridiculous, at least we'll know.
Yeah. I asked them that.
If you wish to be taken, then we'd be happy to do so. It is our charge. If we find disease, we're to bring it to the priests.
We have a priest too, also very good at curing diseases. To clarify, this is not some sort of ritual sacrifice, is it?
Sacrifice, no. It is purely a cleansing. We don't gain anything except safety and the extended life of our community.
Will this cause us harm?
Truthfully, I don't know. Nothing that enters the void ever returns.
That
All I
is
know is
okay.
all I know is that
Something
it
we
is
seek
cleansed.
in the in. So
For a nomad, can you?
if
Sorry,
go ahead.
can you just tell this fellow the situation that the thing they found belonged to some real powerful people, and it's best to get it out of here and ask who we should talk to about that problem?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that, but also I'm not sure if this is useful information from a fisherman who claimed he doesn't exactly know what happens. But if they've sent this part to another plane, we don't need to be here anymore, right?
I don't know nothing about planes or nothing. If there's another way to get there other than going through the city,
Yeah, like if they sent it to the Feywild, for example, that fever dream.
that'd be awful convenient. Just go back the same way we did last time.
You do notice
It
it
would, but
not urgently, but out of your passive perception that the other group from a little ways down the camp has started sending people over this way. About 3 people. They'll be here in 4 or 5
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. So yeah, we explain this. What what's gonna happen basically, and what we're trying to do.
No disease, once it has reached these lands, ever leave. You can come with us, and we can take you to be purged directly, or you can attempt to flee, and the sea will swallow you for us. If you wish to retrieve it, I don't know if such a thing is possible. But if you wish to follow it, that certainly is.
Nomad translates, and it's like, so it seems like to get it, we will have to go through the void.
Couldn't
Well,
we
I
just
guess.
leave it in the void?
Well, the trouble is we needed to find the Wandering Sun, unless someone has
Um,
other ideas for that.
I mean, I'm sure it's not the only one of its kind.
Certainly
It's the only
not.
one.
We might be able to find any other number of high-ranking SSLC ships. Usually you're either escorted by a commander's ship or as part of a fleet, but if you were to find anyone else of equal rank,
Hmm. I am more comfortable attacking slavers and freeing their slaves on the ship than an entire walled city.
Well, I certainly am too. I didn't know there
Should
was more than one of these things.
should we still? Is the ship? Is the ship in the city, or do they just take scraps of the ship to the city?
They took the whole thing and
Yeah,
threw it into a portal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from what we heard.
sounding like they gathered up
Mm.
every shred of the
Where's
ship
Moat
because
when
they
we
thought it
need
was
him?
all diseased and just threw it into some portal they have that leads to God knows where.
Not Moat. Where's Ben when
Right?
we
Where's
need him?
Benthos?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
the
decided that
planeswalker.
Yeah, our Horizon Walker from the other campaign. We need him.
Come here.
Wait, hey, Gale, you have that eye thing, right? That you can like see through, make it move. How far away can that go?
an eyeball?
Arcane
He
eye.
has.
Oh,
It was
right.
literally his eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can go pretty much as far as I can get it.
If it goes to a different
Oh.
plane, does it still give you sensation?
I'm
Oh,
fairly sure it needs to be on the same plane, but I mean, I've never had any time to like test it.
I mean, you could always try to
Uh,
send it into the city and see if you can at least see the portal and get an idea for what it
if
is.
that doesn't work, my animal thing, so Nordo doesn't know this, but Beast Sense doesn't require the same plane of existence. I can straight up just send like a bird through the portal and see where it ends
Yeah,
up.
like
Yeah,
a
that-
Kishi.
Kill
that
another
worked real
bird.
well last.
Also, meta talk.
I'll send
Meta
Napoleon.
talk. I know that. I don't know what type of warlock Vasu is, but he seems to be one that has the chain. Does he have any cool familiar shit he can do with that?
I think that extends. I think that extends my personal communication out to like a certain more amount of feet.
I know that if you
but they
take
still
one
have
of
to
the
be on
one,
the same plane.
okay, so you don't have the invocation that has like, and you were on the plane.
Nah, the invocation that I took for the chain one was the one that maxes out any healing I take when my familiar is within a
Gotcha.
certain distance of me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I mean,
We could always just try sending something through, maybe stealthily.
I mean,
I don't know.
Napoleon's only got about 10 more days to live anyway.
How do we direct Napoleon through a portal?
Well,
He can control it, maybe.
I can't actually control it.
Yeah,
I
you
can
have to
explain to
tell
him what to
Um,
do, but I don't know what he's going in there to find.
Does he have blind sight? Can he see without his eyes open?
Damn it, he'd have to describe what his blind sight sees, and I don't think that's very helpful.
Well, I mean,
He doesn't have to describe it. I just see it.
science.
Oh,
Yeah. Because if so, then he can always just be like, follow the little eyeball, and then you can just have him
Yeah.
follow Gale's little eyeball to the portal.
yeah. Can it ride on the eyeball even?
The eyeball is incorporeal, I think.
No, it's visible.
Oh, unfortunate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think a floating, well, I guess if it's pretending to fly, it's probably fine. I guess you can just push the beetle through once you get there.
It's a physical 1-inch diameter sphere.
Hear me out. If these lizard folk think everything from the outside world's impure and needs to be cleansed, couldn't I just hand them Napoleon and they'll take him to go be cleansed?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that they mean other civilizations because insects are probably everywhere.
Insects around here are as big as dogs.
I assume that they mean outside world, meaning other civilizations.
Nomad's
I could be wrong.
Noda's gonna hold up Napoleon and say, "Friend Nomad, can you just ask them if he's impure?"
Acquaintance,
The stupidest.
is this impure?
You brought it with you from the disease beyond?
Yes.
Then yes, it is diseased.
Will this be cleansed too, or
must.
just stepped on?
It must be.
Oh, okay. I tell Nordo.
You can come with us now, or the sea can do it. It's your choice. Either way, it all ends the same.
do
Gotcha.
you like my head?
I think we will choose the sea. Do you like our friend's headdress? It is a gift.
I made it just for you. I was thinking about your
For the
culture and
fisherman
everything.
specifically?
It is diseased.
It was made
Oh.
from materials that are very
It
natural
has
and
COVID-19.
organic.
I'm so sorry. It's a lovely,
Okay, I
lovely
just
headdress.
realized something. They throw everything into a portal that they think is diseased. The inside of this portal
Riches.
is going to have
Riches
hella
beyond
riches.
imagination. There is
Cleanse
that.
me.
Send me.
Everything from the outside world that's ever landed on this island is in that portal.
Gale steps forward and just spreads his arms.
Cleanse.
Just no.
Do you actually?
Hold on, little dragon.
Hold on.
I guess I don't know what he's saying. Never mind.
I don't speak,
Draconic.
I don't speak Undercommon, so I'm just speaking Draconic.
So Vasu probably understands.
I mean, the two of the lizard folk there see Gale step up and like
Yeah.
open his arms,
Say cleanse me.
and
In
one of
Draconic.
them like steps down and kind of kneels and picks you up under the shoulders and begins to walk off.
Wait, who's picking up
once
who?
I
picking up Gale, I'll physically intervene if I need to.
I do not know Gale's plan, but he seems to be offering himself.
Whoa, little
I-
dragon, what's
I blanked for a second. What did Gil say? Was it a draconic?
Cleanse me.
Gale suddenly realized that if everyone's throwing the treasure into this portal, that there's going to be a shitload of treasure in this portal, and just told them to take him to be cleansed.
Did you say that in draconic?
Yeah.
Oh.
I sure do hope this goes to like a plane without air and you just immediately die.
Unlikely. If it's an open plane, there will be air in there, especially if they send plants in. Oh my goodness. Gale has the ability to plane shift. We should all
I
go.
sure do.
as
Not till
as Gale
Sunday.
is being picked up or whatever, Vasa is gonna be like, maybe I don't know. That sounds
I
dangerous.
don't want to be stuck there till Sunday. What day is it
Yes,
today?
it's Thursday, so we need to get like 3 rests and whatever the yawning, gaping void is.
That sounds great. But I don't know about the point.
My dream world where we're just literally going to purgatory and floating around in space with treasure. It does sound great. The other world where the yawning, gaping void is more like what it sounds like it is.
It is about this point in time
Um,
that 4 other lizard folk begin to approach with quick steps, but not quite running, not in battle mode. Um, and they begin to speak amongst themselves in Undercommon, which you can kind of overhear a little bit, Nomad. Although they do whisper to themselves for the most part. And they seem to just be going, what is going on? Why are the diseased here? Shall we take them in? And they explain that they're still, like, talking. They basically say they're deciding whether or not they want to put up a resistance or let the sea take them.
um, let's mimic exactly what they're doing, so we're also as rude as they are, and just be like, "Okay, friend, what is the group consensus? Should we go into the yawning portal of treasures because we have a
Why
way
do you
out?
think there's treasures in there? They throw their garbage in there, guys.
Not garbage,
They throw
disease,
they throw
Okay,
anything from not this
How
island.
often does buried treasure just wash up on the shore of your island, friends?
A whole ship is in there.
I
Okay,
intend to find out.
okay. You guys have fun. I'm gonna not do that. As
I'm
someone who
not
knows
arguing
how
for it. I'm
islands
just
and ships work.
As interesting as it sounds, I'm more inclined to go the other way and find another slaver to take the part off if that works just
We
as
can do
well.
both.
How many?
yeah, but the plot seems like it wants us to go.
No
The
bad.
plot wants a lot of
plot.
things.
They keep saying that I mean these lizard folk don't seem especially concerned about getting us in there because they seem to think if we try to leave,
We'll
the
swallow it.
sea will take us. Ask them what they mean by that for a nomad.
Sure. What do you? Okay, if we leave and the sea swallows us, what does that mean? Do we drown?
No, it is simple. These islands belong to the mother. If you try to leave without cleansing your disease, she will take you under the sea to her home herself. You'll be
Oh,
cleansed by
which
her
mother?
directly.
Oh,
That's important.
that one
The,
is also for the mother.
the, great,
Belongs to the mother.
the great old mother beneath the sea, the mother of all.
That
Oh,
one flick.
okay. Well, now I'm invested. Shit. God damn it.
Well,
That's
Interested in leaving.
that's what happens if we try to sail away. Apparently, otherwise we go through this portal.
what if, I mean, the likelihood that portal leads us under the ocean, anyways, is very, very likely. It probably just leads us right to the mother.
Like this mother, I'm gonna not attack him with it, but just make it come
Yeah,
out.
several of them like instinctively draw
Present your
weapons,
tentacle.
but then you flop that tentacle out, and when you do, one of them from the back, one of the shorter ones but better decorated, does step forward, and kind of just very coldly and flatly says, "Similar, yes."
Okay.
So here's the thing: we use TVP to get here. No, oh no, we're going to use TVP to
We
leave
were
here.
rugged to get here. We were going to use
Yeah.
TVP to get out. In a pet.
I think there'll be a in the pinch.
We were able to get in and out that way before, so we didn't
Yeah.
get by the sea doing that. Maybe it's just a problem with physically sailing away.
Yeah. So they think we're going to be swallowed by the sea.
They're making it sound like
I think we'd be
whether we
okay.
get swallowed by the sea that way or go through the portal, it's going to the same place. So
Mhm.
sounds like the portal leads there too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Flick, this might earn you an audience with the mother outside of your dreams.
Possibly. Or it's just a portal to under the ocean. Or it's not a portal at all, it's just a giant hole in the ground that goes to the ocean.
God, Zeke wants so bad to go jump in this portal, but Nordo's like, why the fuck aren't we just getting in a tree?
Yeah.
But I want to go in that portal so bad.
Just imagine all the hypothetical loot.
Okay,
Although
quick
isn't
cup of
very-
coffee. We can see this portal, and then if I don't like it, I'm leaving.
All right.
Respectfully,
I
So
feel like
an
if we
option.
go into the city, it sounds like if we go into the city, we're going through the portal. It doesn't
Unless
sound
you-
like they're going to let us just leave the city after we just walk in there.
Unless you plan on fighting through 300 or so lizard folk, I don't think we're leaving if we walk in there.
I mean, it's only
don't even think
300
they
and
have
so
big-
lizard folk.
How hard could that possibly be?
Oh, wait, hang on.
yeah,
It's-
I don't think there are any big.
Wait, hang on. Wrong
Are
campaign.
there
I'm
big
playing a monk,
trees in
not a
the city?
sorcerer.
But Vasu hits.
I can hit one guy a lot really effectively on this character.
Heck. Are there any big trees
Tons and tons.
near the city as well, and inside?
Yeah. So there are, yeah, even within the walls, there's a lot of jungle foliage.
Oh, yeah. So if we don't like the portal, we can TVP out, guys.
Okay.
Guess that's a safe enough bet. Maybe once we get into the city and we can see the portal, I can have Napoleon take a look for us before we go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll just say, we give us a moment. We are praying to the mother.
We are?
That's what we're going to tell them while we wait outside the port.
They have weapons at the ready, but they don't like attack you. They're waiting.
Shall we go, friends? This is fascinating.
God, this is a stupid idea. I shouldn't do this. Why am I being
I
convinced to
officially-
do this?
Officially in my character, so I think we should just jump in the nearest tree right the fuck now and find a different slaver to get this part from.
Probably one back in the place we just came from. Honestly,
Probably
It's
Lots
so
of-
much more convenient when I can just yell into the void and my God answers me.
defer
No Lyra here.
until
No Lyra here.
you the mother, the mother.
Yeah, but I don't have good contact with her. It's just kind of like, you know,
Either the mother or the pale knight. So
I'd rather not talk to the Pale Knight.
If only there was a spell available to warlocks that just gave you a general good or bad sense about something.
Don't be ridiculous.
Don't all warlocks get that?
augury.
Oh,
Augury.
what? How is that only clerics?
I know it's augury. I don't.
Here, I will.
Yeah.
Augury.
Yeah, give me.
Augury is a
Can
warlock.
I?
Augury is a warlock spell in my game.
It's gonna go badly.
Okay. Well,
Can I take a moment and wheel our woe going to
Do you have
the portal?
do you have Augury?
I do.
If you
He's used it before.
if
They've
you
used this before.
if you have Augury, then absolutely you can cast Augury.
I'm already gone.
Taken. Yeah, where I cast augury.
Was Gale within 5 or at least 15 feet of me when he tried to step into the portal?
We're not actually.
We're not at the portal.
we're nowhere near a portal.
Like,
we don't
I
even
hate
know if
to
it's a
be-
portal.
I hate to be metagamey or that guy, but if Gale tries to run off, I'm going to restrain him, even
Yeah.
if I have to do it with Sentinel.
Gale has basically
I'm already restrained. I was picked up by a lizard man and taken.
Oh,
he basically
Very
walked
happy
up.
to be where he is.
He walked up to one of these lizard folk and said, "Uppies, please take me to your leader," and that's where things are currently at.
Uppies, please? Did you really say
Uppies.
uppies, please?
That's
Basically,
me.
I didn't say uppies, please, but I did do the hand gesture for it.
oh,
Well, Vasu looks anxious and scared, but he doesn't do anything about it.
Nomad, you take a moment to attune yourself and search within the vast expanses of your mind to try to get some sort of a foresight on this issue. And as you are exploring the various consciousnesses whatever the fuck it is, inside of your head.
Conscious is a sigh.
You're joined by another voice. And the voice speaks, and it is somewhat familiar because you've heard it once before in a dream, deep and low. You are no child of mine, but I would see you face to face. Come, you will be unharmed, perhaps.
Okay. I will take that as positive 100%. We will not be harmed. What about my friends, though? Will they be harmed, perhaps?
The overall sense that you get is little wheel, little woe, but more wheel than woe.
Nomad says, I have glimpsed the future. This will be a good a good venture for all of us. Slightly bad, but mostly good.
It's been the story of the last 3 months, so
Yeah, we just keep going.
say so, friend. No matter, I trust you.
I too trust me. Or whatever. The mother contacted me. Flick.
Oh, that's convenient and weird. But alright, I guess. Sure,
Your
why the
mother
fuck
wants to meet me.
not? She's the reason I'm not dead to begin with, so if I die, I die, I guess.
How come you get 3 mothers,
Mom's
Flick?
fine.
He had. Oh, what is it with you and having so many moms? Is that like a thing
Right?
that you do? How many moms?
Every campaign I have had multiple moms.
He's got 12
Shit, I
moms
didn't
for
think about that.
Oh shit. How does this
Every
keep
character
happening?
12 moms.
I don't know.
Moms. You have a thing-
Because he's writing lots of moms into his backstory.
Technically,
No, I
technically, he
don't.
only has one mom in my campaign, but he
Yeah.
has 2 dads.
Simmons only has one mom. He's
Yeah.
got 2 moms in Zeke's campaign. Something like 3 moms
Yes,
over
Lyra,
here.
mom, and fake mom.
Oh,
I had 3 moms
Oh,
in
yeah,
Zeke's
3.
campaign. I had my 2 lesbian moms and then the genie mom.
oh yeah, that's right.
How come you have so many living parents?
I have one.
It's not fair to literally everybody else I've played other than Vasu.
You have an entire live family. It's fine.
Yeah, I kind of made sure of that for Vasu, 'cause
Up for everyone else.
I can't wait to see how Feck uses that against me.
Yup. Don't worry. Eventually it'll happen.
Can I just say I'm still so worried both in and out of character that I haven't gotten the letter back from D yet. He's not dead, is he?
Who knows, man? You're breaking up a little bit, like we're getting just pauses in your voice, but you're mostly coming through. Hopefully it's just a temporary hiccup. But yeah, who knows what's going on with D? It's probably just all them earthquakes,
I
man.
mostly asked if D was dead.
Does it, you know, it starts with D? Dead.
D is
Great.
for dead.
I love hearing the DMs. I love hearing the DM say, "Who knows what's going on?"
Sweet D.
It's funny because I do. D is for dead.
See,
I cough on this entire journey. Just constantly, like periodically, just start clearing my throat, making real gross noises.
All right, the lizard folk holding you
so
kind of holds you at arm's length a
I'm
little
s-
bit, but
I'm so ill. Quickly, get me to the portal.
Any baby. Gross.
well, shall we at least go to make sure Gale is safe?
all right. You are
It's fine. I can take all the treasure again. It's probably cursed.
Doubtful. There's no god this time.
the lizard folk begin to take Gale up towards the city, and anybody who wants to come with, they will happily escort. If anybody puts up a fight, now's the time to say so.
I
Go
I
ahead.
don't fight, but
Does
before
someone want to get water breathing up on us in case it goes underwater?
we leave this plane of
idea.
existence, I'm gonna hold my palm up flat over the ground, and there's a little bit of a rumble, and the axe bursts out, and then I don't make a big show of it. I just put it away afterwards. Try to do that little ritual as non.
It's a big show, though. It's so
Naturally, when that happens,
Probably
several of them lower weapons and anticipate you turning and swinging, and when you don't, they just coldly kind of put their weapons back. Very stoic, very cold. Their emotions are very mechanical the entire time. But they begin walking with you guys, the hike back up towards the city. There's sort of a grueling climb towards the stone walls.
I go back to the fisherman dude and I T-pose and start floating a foot off the air and say, please. And he gets to just push me along.
He just begins pushing you along the ground as you T-pose.
It's fine. It's
All
like
right.
a shopping cart.
As you water resistance wraps. Okay, perfect. Get your water resistance up. Makes sense. As you guys get closer and closer, you do pass by other groups. Some that are doing just traveling up and down the path to and from the city. Each time as you pass by, you get these just kind of cold stares and glares. They'll occasionally ask in this kind of old-fashioned undercommon, "Dost thou need any help?" or whatever they would say. I need to practice my Urianger voice, which I'm realizing nobody here. Neo gets it. Neo gets that joke. Thank
get
you.
it.
Oh,
I
thank
get it.
God.
Not it.
Oh yeah, Frisk would get it too. You met Urianger.
Yeah, I've met him.
Okay, good. I'm not nearly good enough at that to attempt it though. But they kind of confirm that they don't need assistance. That everybody seems to be cooperating. They say, "Good. Disease must be purged. Disease must be purged." And then eventually you're brought into the city walls. You can see that it is very simple. There are people that are just kind of sitting either in stone or mud structures, some in tents, just doing basic activities. A lot of them seem to just be kind of reclining. It's still early enough in the day that a lot of them are working, but there's not a huge hustle and bustle. Everybody, for the most part, kind of keeps to themselves, relaxes. There are a few of them that are singing or dancing. Just these kind of simple, very foreign, very alien songs and dances. Um, Christ, no man.
Sorry, that's what my background says.
Yeah. Nomad eventually begins also responding, "Disease must be purged," in undercommon each time one of these walk by. Until eventually you guys are brought up to the foot of this very tall stone structure. There's a big flight of stairs that leads up to the top, and eventually into a stone building. And as you begin to get escorted up these stairs, you do notice that a small crowd, not a huge crowd, but maybe 18 to 25 more of these lizard folk, have formed behind you. Some armed, but most not. Most just kind of along for just kind of the spectacle of it, you assume. And they begin to kind of keep their distance, but follow you up the stairs until eventually you're brought to this large stone archway. And into what appears to be just a very large empty stone room. It is lit on all of its sides by torches, and intermittently by ever-burning torches that are spaced out along the ground. But it appears to just be kind of this big empty stone structure, almost like a gymnasium, or like an empty arena or a stadium of some sort. Just a huge, flat stone room, 15-foot ceilings. And in the very center of it, sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed, you can see that there is a lizard folk who is adorned in a manner that is similar to a lot of what you've seen before, a lot of the skulls and feathers and whatnot. But you do see that over a lot of it is a cloak that is from this bizarre material. It looks like this kind of sheer, almost silky fabric, jet black with a bit of a sheen to it. And this kind of stitched pattern that gives it almost like a quilted look, vaguely. And let me get a perception or investigation check from any two of you.
I'll help.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's
Aw.
that's poignant and appropriate. Nordo and Nomad. The reason it stands out to you is because you feel like you recognize it, like you've seen it once before. And it takes a little bit of time for it to kind of click and connect. Because it's been kind of cut into strips and it's been repurposed and it's been turned into something that is different than the form where you saw it before. But the mind flayers that came out of the stasis containment cells in Eridanis were wearing black robes made from the same material.
Interesting. And the undercommon here, they must. Oh, the yawning, gaping thing is the Underdark. It's full of water. Don't worry.
Uh, as you
Yay.
as you're brought forward, they begin to call out, and you do see that this single lizard folk, older, a little smaller, a little frail, opens his eyes and begins to look up to all of you, and then climbs to his feet, using a staff to sort of prop himself up. And as he approaches, he simply says, "Disease from the outside, from the disease beyond. It is to be purged, yes?" And the ones that are escorting you say, "Disease is here to be purged."
Disease must be purged.
He looks
Nomad.
a little surprised when you also respond that disease must be purged.
Try something. I want
Sure.
to take off my full helmet that covers my entire face.
Okay.
The one I showed you a picture of.
Yeah.
And reveal that I'm a mind player.
I reveal the mind flayer? Okay. Delightful.
Does your helmet have a neck scarf?
I have one neck scarf that's not attached to my
I was
helmet.
pinging previously. Did I sense any aberrations?
You don't sense any aberrations. No, you don't sense any aberrations within 5 miles, other than the very slight ping off of Nomad.
The gods knew that Nomad would do this, so it was awkward.
I'm going to be
He is
purged.
God, so.
Accept me as your god now.
When you pull the mask off, most of the lizard folk seem unfazed, but they've been cold this whole time. It's not unusual for them to have no reaction to some big dramatic reveal.
Shit, sorry, no, I lied. I have a disguise on that's a fucking lizard folk, and I said it before.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
right.
a lizard folk face.
Right. Well, it's even less
Never
dramatic then.
mind. It's everlasting. It's just a fucking lizard folk face. It's not even like an interesting one. It's just a common
Yeah,
lizard.
very generic lizard folk face. It does sort of explain. Okay, well, how would they react to that then? That's different.
It's a different. It's an outsider lizard folk.
He does walk
Can't
up
turn
to
off
you.
disguise self.
I think he can as an
Right?
action.
I think I can. Let me check. These guys sail first level spell.
You can use your action to dismiss it. Yes.
Oh, cool. I can do that.
Do you do it?
After it shows the lizard folk. Unless someone stops me, I do take off my helmet. And then upon realizing I'm a lizard folk, I'm going to whoop to mind flare.
Okay. He begins to approach until you turn off the disguise self, and then he stops, and he gives just a curious cock of the head to the side and says, "Ooh, this is an even older and more ancient disease. I've seen stories of this sickness. Yes, all of you have done well to bring me this disease. You will be rewarded. This must be purged. If you don't mind, stand at the entryways." And all the ones that have been escorting you just begin to step back and leave you alone with this kind of elder in the center of this large, kind of like gymnasium floor style area.
What language is he speaking?
Undercommon the whole time, everyone here.
Okay.
And again, old timey, but I'm bad at old fashioned, so add some these and thous in here.
Nomad goes and looks at the other dudes who were just given rewards and he says, thumbs up.
He does look at you curiously and says, "You seem to understand your place. You understand what is happening. Are you ready to be cleansed?"
I do. I also understand you're wearing fabric from my people.
Fabric of your people.
And I pull out like my robe from my backpack. Literally, it's the same one. We have the same tailor.
Give boy.
Our underwear is made by the same person. Look.
Give me.
You're mixing cotton and wool together. It's sin.
God, what would this even be? Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Sorry, I had to scroll all the way to skills. My spell list is very long. 25.
Curious.
Thank you, advantage.
Where did you get this?
From home.
That is not
I've
descriptive.
had it for as long as I remember. You see now how it feels, right? To not have much description. Purge, cleanse, home. What is the difference?
You are
This
unusual.
is the yeah, I get that a lot. This is the craftsmanship of the Illithid. You speak the language of Illithid as well. Though, and then I switch to telepathy. I can speak in your head.
You are not the only being capable of speaking through the mind, nor the only being who can provide this material. I don't know how you obtained it, or why you've obtained it, what interest the mother has in you, in all of you, but I suppose that soon she will sort things out.
Oh, you know the mother. She wished to speak to me.
Well, then you've
That's the
come
only reason I came here.
then you've come to the correct place. If you'll stand there for a moment, you will all speak with her soon.
Sure. What is your name?
I actually have this.
God.
I actually have this. Hang on, it's written down.
It's the best way to flusterfuck right now. What is your name?
I'm Durak to Java Java.
I wish to speak to you. Could you type that
I sure can. I don't even
and
have
or,
to. I can
and or
copy
repeat it?
paste it out of my notes that I
Hi,
prepared.
your manager.
Durak
For
Jazivaja.
no particular
Can you show me
reason.
the portal now?
Is he a king or a priest or what?
I am Durak. I speak for the mother, but I am one like all of the others.
Excellent.
He does begin to stand back
It is
and seems
pleasant
to
to
be
meet.
performing the start of some sort of ritual.
Oh, cool. We stand over here, right? And he puts like an X in the ground.
For a nomad, before we go, could you just tell him something for me?
Sure.
Just let him know that the ship they found, there's people that have come looking for it, and more than likely, when they can't find it, they're gonna try to take all these people as slaves and kill anybody who resists. And I don't know what they can do about that, but just tell them to be ready.
Yeah. I translate this for him. It is cold empathic as they speak. You know, it's just a
When it comes out of Nomad, it probably sounds like a threat more than like a friendly warning.
not even. It's just meaningless. Like, yeah, this is information. This is textbook. This is what will happen.
There have been times in the past when the diseased beyond us sent other diseased to obtain their trash, their filth. They learned in time that once you leave, or once you enter, you do not leave these islands. They belong to the mother, and now they don't bother us anymore. But we will be wary and vigilant all the same.
Good for you.
Then Norda will
When
go
I
see
am
the axe nomad troop.
when this is all finished, expect to call me father.
Christ. Alright.
Are you trying to get married to the Deep Mother? Because I don't think that's going to happen.
She wants to see me, Flick. Is that not flirting?
At least they didn't
Oh.
say daddy.
I can't. This is just.
Christ. No deep
She
daddies.
said she wanted to see me face to face. Deep daddy.
Deep daddy. I don't like that.
No, the deep mother, I shall be the shallow
Can we
father.
cancel that? Can we veto deep daddy?
I can't actually. I don't think we can say it on Twitch though.
Oh, right, of course, I'm sorry. No daddy allowed on Twitch.
Is Is Daddy not allowed?
Only-
I call my real dad Daddy.
Only father now. Father and mother.
And then Flick is Deep
Papa.
Boy.
Deep baby.
Boy.
Father dearest.
Puddle boy.
Flick is Deep Boy, and Nomad is Deeper Baby.
I hate this so much.
All
That
right.
sounds worse.
Pray return to the waking sands. He continues his ritual until one by one, all of you begin to feel this tugging sensation at your ankles and then your knees. This sensation that gravity is growing and almost pulling you down. Eventually, you start to feel your joints get weak, your muscles begin to get tired, and with some degree of involuntary reaction, you just kind of start to get tired and sleepy and collapse. And it sounds like most of you are kind of just on board for this. If anybody tries to resist, you can give me a charisma saving throw. Perfect.
Time
Excellent.
to die.
Excellent.
That's not for me. That's for Napoleon.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Can I just chase the rabbit?
You can
I just
chase.
want to know.
Yeah, you can chase the rabbit if you want.
It'd be real bad.
I'm not actually, but
It
I
is.
would have.
It is. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Until one by one, your eyes close, and you can. Some of you earlier or later than others. Gale, you're one of the last to fall asleep. As you see your comrades just kind of slump to their knees and then almost pass out on the floor around you. But being one of the last ones to pass out, you do see that shortly after falling to the ground, each one begins to kind of just dissolve away into this dust. The first kicks up in all directions, but then after a split second, each particle of dust suddenly shoots down to the stone floor and then through it, leaving behind almost like a droplet as it passes through the stone. And before long, you do see that your eyelids grow heavier, and from the tips of your toes and fingernails, you begin to flake away as well. And I need each of you to roll D100.
Oh, that's my
For
favorite thing
damage?
to roll.
It's for damage.
Boy, it's time for mutations.
Ooh, 90.
Sick.
I'm alive.
8. Which we all know is just infinity standing up.
Correct. I think I win. Who's gonna roll for moat though?
He said Vasu rolled for moat.
Do
Oh,
it.
did he?
Oh.
Okay, then
He
go
said,
for it,
well, I
Vasu.
mean, I don't know. Decide his fate.
I hope he doesn't die.
What about you? Where's Yule at? What is she doing right now?
Yule's waiting on the ship.
She's doing like
She's doing Yule
scrapbooking
things.
stuff, I imagine.
He's doing calibrations.
She's doing something.
She's being racist. She's doing racist stuff right now. Hating on
Racist
cats.
grandma things.
Yule is feeding my Kuatoa.
Perfect.
She's babysitting.
What about Elise though? And Leah.
So Eli and I have been playing Tales of Asperia, and this person, her name is Estelle, and I keep calling her Elise every single time because she's also like a healer tank.
She's got a rapier, right?
I mean, she can, but she also has this one thing, just like a flail, not a flail, a mace. But it's
Oh.
literally just a rapier with a spiked ball at the end of it. It's not
What
a very
the heck?
so
That doesn't make sense.
it's a JRPG. It's not supposed to make sense.
That completely defeats the point of a rapier.
It's a mace. Does Shu need to make a save too?
Well, it's more of a
Does he?
D100 roll.
What about Odo?
I'll roll a d100 for Stu.
Sure, go for it.
I did one for Napoleon, so
Although if it's damage, yeah, he's dead. He's dead. If this is damage, he's dead.
Assuming that we're just getting randomly teleported across the world, it's like a weird banishment.
All right. All of you die, and that's the end of the campaign. So let's roll some new characters, and we'll start
Good
back
shit.
up
Sweet.
in 2 weeks.
I have so many
Woo!
ideas.
All right. So I've already rolled stats for him. I'm going to play as another bird.
This is named D.
Can we be a girl
Full
boy
bird
band?
this time?
He's Vasu's cousin.
Is he half horse now?
He's
Sabu.
definitely
Sabu.
been there the whole time.
Is he a hippogriff?
He's
You're
also
playing
a monk / warlock. Warlock is a
Warlock.
real thing.
Warlock.
Idea. Just be
he's one of them warlocks.
Just be Shu, who's got turned into a humanoid.
I'd
But
be
you
down
still
with that
just
too.
but you still just yell shoo at people.
But I can speak telepathically.
You still it doesn't stop you from screaming shoo at people.
No.
So what happens, Feck?
One by one, you wake up. And when you wake up, you find yourself somewhere that is dimly lit, this kind of soft teal color. And you realize that you're wet. And not just water wet, but like gooey, sticky, gross wet. Most of you wake up kind of, cheek down in what appears to be a stone room with a couple of. There's a ramp that leads up to what appears to be a large, heavy metal door. Mostly flat, but with some strange carvings on it that are either decoration or arcane markings, and it's a little hard to tell. Looking around, most of you realize that you are mostly alone, although you do have a buddy with you, each of you.
Each of us has a buddy.
Oh, I was hoping it was a new friend. Who do I have? Oh, it's Vasu. I'm okay with
A
this.
new pet. It's Basu.
Man, this isn't purge. This is jail.
Is Shu here too?
Shu is with you, Vasu, and Toto is with Gale.
I'm just glad I got deeper, baby.
Hello, Gale.
Where's everybody else? What?
I don't know. I'm assuming they're nearby. God, why is
Does
that
my true sight notice anything weird in the room?
No. But give me a perception check.
Okay.
Can I give you one too?
Absolutely.
Or at least Shu give you one too, because he's
Yeah.
proficient?
Somebody from each room can, if you want. Sorry, while you're
Place
rolling,
coded in this weird slime.
I have to.
Oh, Shu!
Ooh,
I'm so
nice.
happy.
Oh, Shu, he did it.
Don't you patronize my owl.
I was being excited for him. That was my exciting voice.
Don't you condescend to my familiar.
I can if I want. What's he gonna do about it?
Don't you birds?
That's fair.
Shoe.
He'll peck you. He can attack now.
Oh no! How horrible! I can't attack back.
And instantly kill him.
Yeah, take this. Oh no.
He has disadvantage because I have my special cloak.
This is an 11 hit.
No.
That's fine.
Who the heck?
Ooh, stealth.
Chemical pendants. Interesting.
Look at these great stealth checks.
Oh my
Pew
god.
pew.
So Ace, starting with you, looking around with your true sight, the first thing that you notice is that there is some sort of a large window to the south side of the room. You can see light glowing in through it. And at first, it seems to just be a window into darkness, into this just thick, inky black dark-like space. But then as you continue to look through, you can see dimly, almost like looking through like a foot solid of black-colored glass, another room. And in that room, you can see that Nomad, Gale, and Toto are waking up in whatever this weird, slightly glowy, gack slime stuff is. When you make eye contact, Toto, always alert and ever vigilant, notices the same thing. Ace is looking through a window to the north, and you can tell that you're in separate chambers. The other group, Shu, wait, no, okay, you already did it. You're in that room. Just kidding. We already got that room taken care of. Let me get one from, oh, hey, it's the two AFK people. That's why nobody rolled.
She rolls a crit though.
She did.
That's got to be worth something, right?
Yeah, means you're not surprised in a second.
Cool.
Pew pew.
Nobody in that room notices, and unfortunately, Nordo and Flick, you guys take a look around. You do see that there's the window to the south, but the first thing that you kind of do is go up to this ramp and investigate the door. And as you're looking it over, you realize, first of all, that there is no handle or obvious means of opening this door. And the second thing that you notice is that there is this bubbling sound of shapes forming in the ooze behind you that seem to kind of get the jump on you, whereas the rooms on the right are not caught off guard as shapes suddenly form.
Don't know.
So left side of the room has the surprise condition when we jump in.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Forget to give Gale a D8.
Let me see. It should be in there.
So I baked mine. I don't know if his did or not.
It is not baked in there, so go and roll me a D8, Gale. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Up to 22. Even AFK moat rolls a 1. I don't understand.
It's amazing.
It's his luck.
Initiative. He's always rolled.
Oh wait, I remembered. I gotta add parentheses. I gotta do it.
Without moat here, we don't have ambiance. I just realized that.
For real.
Gotta find my own.
What is a squishy ambience for this fight?
Let's type it into YouTube and see what happens.
Squishy ambience.
Yeah.
Some ASMR with slime.
Ugh, I hate it.
How do you spell ambiance?
Sound it out.
English isn't phonetical.
Ambulance.
AMBIENCE.
Vasu, you do
Say,
notice
see.
immediately and instinctively because of your cool thing, a magical aura coming from something small over by the base of this ramp. There appears to be some sort of a magical object over there.
I hate to. Yeah, never mind.
Or is that Daru?
By my cool thing, you mean my detect magic, right?
Yeah. Or is it not
Okay.
currently up?
Yeah. No, I had to think about it for a moment, but I do still currently have that
Sick. Okay.
because I like when I got to 3rd level warlock, I was debating trading like a pact of the chain thing for that. But I think what I settled on was that I have the pact of the chain thing, but that I got rid of the like force movement on my Eldritch Blast because I already have a lot of force movement, so I just stuck with the detect magic at will thing too, though.
Perfect. All right then. Starting things off, Ace, you notice in the reflection of the glass as you are observing the other room, 2 large shapes begin to form out of the goo and make their way over towards you and Vasu. You're first to react. What do you do?
Is there any noticeable difference between these two?
They appear to be basically the same thing. Just kind of lumps that have formed themselves out of this weird gack all over the ground.
Just at a quick glance, do I recognize? Are they just like slimes?
They just look like slimes, basically. They don't have really a discernible shape. It's just a mass of ooze that seems to be approaching each of you. Notably, everywhere covered in
Alrighty.
green gack is difficult terrain.
I'm not affected by difficult terrain.
Of course not. Perfect.
I'm flying.
Also, I have Elven accuracy, so I don't have the third one built in, so I'm gonna roll them separately.
Sure.
And these are not aberrations, I assume.
Correct. Oozes.
It's weird that there's a completely different like subclass of monster for just ooze.
Yeah, like oozes just get their own thing.
This is gonna be on the one closest, the blue one.
All right. Before you take your second shot, there we go. That's better. 28 slams into the blue one, and as it does, you watch as this thick, kind of membrane-like top layer of this ooze covering the entire room is suddenly pulled over to the blue one, and he kind of like contracts this top layer all around itself, and you watch as the surface suddenly becomes almost opaque as he kind of compresses it into this shell around itself. It seems to go into sort of a defensive stance after taking that hit.
Does it look impervious, or just like it's like just more tanky?
It definitely looks a lot more tanky, but it also kind of like holds still when it does that. The second shot lands smack straight in for less damage this time, but still some damage.
All right, and then I'll shoot again.
Woo!
Crit.
Oh my goodness, 29. Math is hard. 14. 7. 14. Excellent.
Question.
Yes.
I've seen Vasu fight before. Does it look like he could carry me in the air and still fight?
Oh boy. Most of what he does is like kicks. He does a little bit of punching. He wouldn't be able to use any two-handed weapons. If you're less than his normal carry weight, like if he could pick you up as part of his inventory without going over carry weight, then potentially maybe he would just have to use one arm.
Could I just like jump on his back?
Yeah.
Jump into his arms?
You could. You
I
could
think
give
I
me an
weigh like.
acrobatics check. Yeah. I'd let you use your bonus action to try to mount a friend as an acrobatics check.
I already used a bonus action, so.
Gotcha. Okay.
10. Does it look like these walls are scalable?
They appear to be smooth stone walls that go up about 15 feet to a flat ceiling. It would be very difficult, if not impossible, to climb them.
All right, I just don't want to be close to things, so I'm just gonna move up here. Like, pick up if you can. If not, it's fine.
All right. That brings us to Gale.
I'm gonna pull out that really expensive box that I bought after I climb onto Toto's back.
Excellent.
And then inside, there's a little, like, one of those pose dolls for art, but it's like a little suit of armor. And I'm gonna throw it at this spot here.
Excellent.
Protect me.
Hello.
Oh, what is
I'm
this?
gonna summon the Tin Man.
I love it. Okay, excellent. I need to get a card for this.
It pops up, and it's a. I'm gonna use the metal one. So, yeah, it's just like a big metal suit of armor that pops up, and it's. Actually, I've got a bonus action, so I'm gonna use that to have Toto come and flank with him. There. Toto's gonna bite him.
Love it. 15 sinks in for 9 points of force damage, and just like what happened up there, as he sinks in, this just top thick layer of the ooze all across the room is suddenly pulled, like vacuuming up a piece of silk onto this thing, and he forms a defensive shell around its outside. He gets crunchy on the outside.
Cool. Then Tin Man's gonna punch him.
Woo! boy. Oh my goodness. 2 solid hits.
$24 or 27.
27. Excellent. Punching through the shell, you can tell, is a little resisted, but still hurts. Anything else?
I think that is it for now.
Alright, that brings us up to Vasu.
Oh boy. There's a big thing right in front of me.
It's in defense mode.
I'm going to attack it. Shoe's gonna give me advantage on this first one. 24?
24 is good. You can tell the damage is resisted as you punch through this thick, heavy shell, but it does do some damage.
Let me get a con save.
I don't wanna, though.
Do it though. It fails.
It does fail, and
It's
it is
stunned.
It is not immune to stun. What the shit?
Yeah, the
I'm gonna
+9.
keep wailing on it.
26 is good for another 6 points.
And I use the key point, so I'm going to make a weapon attack as bonus action.
22 is good
22.
for another 7.
And then what day of the week is it?
Thursday.
Okay. Can't remember if I did like decide on this at the long rest period, but I know I rolled the social link thing, but for image it sorry, I'm trying to open up 5
You're good. You are cutting out a
tools and
little
there's
bit,
so many.
but I think we're getting most of it.
My turn's basically over. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of extra damage I want to tack on a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
So you can go ahead.
Alright, that'll bring us over to Flick, who is surprised, but not anymore.
Yep.
And same for Nordo. Surprise is gone. Alright, that brings us to these boys. The green one is going to move just a little bit kind of over this way, but not approach too closely. And then it is going to lash out twice with a couple of tendrils. One at Nordo, one at Flick. Oh boy. I think those both hit for 14 and then 10, and then I need a strength save from each of you. And while you guys are rolling that, we'll jump over to Red, who is going to come over here and do the same to Vasu with both of these on Vasu.
First one hits.
Alright, 10 damage, and I need a strength save from you. While you're rolling that, I'm going to jump down to the NPCs.
And mode.
I'm good.
Excellent, you're good. And then finally, before I roll note save, the purple one is going to swing up on Nomad, which does he have range? 10, 20, he does, just barely. So 1 for Nomad. 14?
What purple one?
Down here.
The one next to me is yellow.
Yep, it's the one over by Gale, the purple one.
Oh, but the purple ones go after me, according to this.
Yep, you're totally
Purple
right.
is
Sorry.
11.
Yep, you're totally right. It's supposed to be yellow. In that case, yellow is going to swing at the 10-man. Sorry, reading is hard.
That's weird. Why are they attacking things further from them?
God, that hits.
14 and 18?
Do they both hit or just the 18?
Ooh, just 18.
Awesome. Then I need a strength save.
However, takes 2 points of fire damage.
Ooh. Excellent.
A bit late, boss.
Gotcha. I'll throw in another 5.
Oh, did he die already?
Nope, you're good.
Trying to figure out my warlock shit.
I threw on an extra 5. Or actually another 2 after resistance. I gotta give him some health back.
Does it resist all damage?
Seems to. Everything so far, anyway.
Hmm.
You do notice that
Oh,
when,
if he resists bludgeoning damage, can I try fire damage instead?
Sure. Yeah,
I'm
you've seen
kidding.
it.
I'm kidding.
Your spear
I have.
had fire damage. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I have to decide on this at the start of the week, so technically it was
Gotcha.
like 3 days ago.
Gotcha. Either way, down here.
But if it does help, I would like to know between the piercing and the fire and the bludgeoning damage I do to him, if there's anything that he doesn't seem to resist.
It seems that when he has this thick protective skin up, he is resistant to all 3 of those damage types. Down here, when the yellow guy lashes out at the Iron Man and takes those 2 points of fire damage, you see that it tries to shirk some of this skin up to protect itself. But the purple one that is already hogging it all doesn't release it, so he's unable to enter a defensive mode. And that brings us to Nomad.
What did the yellow one do?
The yellow one
It
lashed
attacked
out.
the 10 man, right?
Yeah, it attacked the 10-man.
This is very odd behavior. This penance.
And did pull him?
It did, if he failed a
That
strength
makes
save.
sense.
Did he get a strength save?
Yeah, he did. He got a 8.
Oh, gotcha. Then yes, he is pulled 10 feet that way.
My turn?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's just going to be like, to me, my angel. And summon the same cloaked, very eyeful figure, 5th level. Over here at the alchemical pens, the purple one.
Excellent.
Yeah, around here. I think this is within 10 feet of Gale, right? Yeah, okay, cool. And it's going to make 2 attacks. Let me just try and find that. There it is. Character sheet. It's going to make 2 attacks.
All right. Oh my goodness. Almost a crit.
29.
11 points. You do see that it
Gale-
resists the radiant
yeah.
as well.
Cool. Gale gets 9 temp HP. And 24. Toto gets 1 temp HP.
24 for another 8. All right. Anything else?
That was an action, so that's my turn.
All right. That brings
I
us...
guess I'll move closer, actually.
Okay.
Let me just go. I'm gonna hover up off the ground. And I can only move 10 feet while hovering this way. So I go up to here.
Cool.
That's it.
All right. That brings us down to the other ones, the bottom boys. Orn. is going to take another lash,
Who
one,
you calling the bottom boy?
one at Flick and then one at Nordo. 19 Flick, 24 Nordo.
Well, it says my AC is 1, so give me a second. That's not right.
Oh, hey. Oh, balls, I don't have any mana. Never mind.
Uh,
Finally get a chance for performance.
Yep. Let's see. The blue one is stunned, so he doesn't do anything, but he gets some rebound points, and you do notice that he loses his defensive stance as the thick top layer of all this goo kind of rolls back out into place.
Nope.
Down south, these are both going to be on Elise. Both missing. And then finally, purple drops its defensive stance and then takes 2 swings. Both at Nomad.
Cool.
13, I think, misses. 27?
27 hits.
Alright, 14 points
So
of
he's
acid
going to
and a strength save.
use. Yeah, he's gonna use a reaction to have it with. You know that spell.
Yep, the one.
Fucking. I have so many spells. Absorb elements. There we go.
Excellent.
2/7. And I get pulled. Let me make a save. I can't fail my concentration check, so I'm just gonna not for that damage.
Yep.
And here's the strength save.
You're good. You're able to kind of fight against it with your levitation as it tries to pull you closer.
I am goo. Silly. I'm already gooey.
Elise and Moat do things. And for the sake of not fighting myself, I'm going to just kind of block off this quadrant and assume that that fight is going on in there, and we'll see how it goes when things end up. It's convenient that they all ended up down there. Alright, that brings us to the top of the new round. However, all of you notice suddenly that this deep, kind of, boy, how would you even describe it? Almost like the roar of a distant creature, but in pulses that feel artificial, like a deep, weird, bizarre alien alarm, begin to kind of echo throughout the halls and all around you, like a whale that is repeatedly calling out. And as it does, you notice that the goo all around you begins to bubble and pop and hiss, including those bits of it that have formed into these ooze creatures. And you can see that within each of these ooze creatures, a little moat of boiling energy begins to gather. And new round.
So, where is the Deep Mother?
Great question. Flicks up.
Gale's still missing his D8.
Oh yeah, here, let me... I am Gale. Roll type, normal.
No.
Bonus, 1d8. There we go.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit green. Or I'm not gonna hit green.
You still do, actually. Everything except for the critical. The 15 and the 19 are both good. As the first 20 points of damage slam in, you see that it enters this defensive stance that has been described in some of the other room. The second attack misses, and then the third attack hits again, but this time is resisted for 4 points. Anything else?
Hit the other one, Nordo. This one's got a weird shield now. Don't like it.
Alright, then.
Alright, brings us over to Nomad.
Right. Celestial Spirit's going to do 2 attacks again. 20
20 slams in for 16.
and 24.
24 is good for another 5.
And it's going to give the 5 temp to Toto this time. And then he's going to use his action to cast these. I don't think these can be prone, but he's gonna see if they're immune to like psychic damage.
As you begin to connect with this thing and look for a mind that you can assault, you find absolutely nothing. There is no connection to make any psychic damage to. It seems to be totally immune to psychic damage.
I was hungry. No, I'm not. That's me.
All right, that brings us to Nordo.
Okay. You said each of these things is now like bubbling and looks like it might explode or something.
They both seem to, except when this one got hit by Flick's Eldritch Blast, it kind of pulled the skin around itself, tightened up, and the glowing stopped.
Oh, okay.
Likewise, the same thing happened for the purple one down here.
Oh, okay.
So, can you describe
Yellow
this door to me? Is there any aspect of it that can be seen through?
Looking through, it does appear that there is a tiny hole kind of in the center of it, circular, almost like a porthole on a ship, maybe 4 inches in diameter. And it seems to be plated with some very, very thick-looking glass. But it does look like you could potentially see through it. The door does not have any handles or any obvious means of opening it from this side, but it does have very thin etchings in it that appear to be kind of geometric. It's hard to say if they are arcane or just decorative without taking a closer look.
Cool. I'm going to start with my action. I'm going to attack this one next to me.
All right.
Recklessly, of course.
Of course. .30 slams in for 15. And you can see it tries to defend itself, but all of this thick, almost rocky skin has been soaked up by the other one. So it cannot. 27, good
I
for another
understand
12.
the mechanic now. Alright, that's 2 wounds. I will go ahead and, while we've got this one good and vulnerable, I'll do an action surge.
Oh, 14 points.
Ooh.
Yeah, catching this thing off guard, you just begin hacking into it. Huge sloughs of jello being carved
and
away.
Since that was such a good hit, let's go ahead and throw one of these on here and see if it works.
Oh, fiddle fuck. Why did fucking +9? Okay. Yeah, it is stunned in its tracks.
Delicious.
And you do see that the light inside of it fades.
Terrific. One more attack.
.17 is good for 11.
Okay. That's my action, and that's my action surge. The next thing that Nordo does is he kind of backs away from it and looks through the opening of this door. And Nordo starts to, like, disintegrate, like Thanos style. Like from his fingertips and extremities, he starts to disintegrate into, like, a pile of sand. And then the sand sort of moves, like wind is blowing it, and sort of goes underneath the cracks in the sides of this door, and I will teleport into whatever's right here.
Fuck. What is your passive perception?
20.
Okay. So as you look through the door, just passively, you are able to tell that it goes into a small interstitial chamber where there is another door with another hole that you can just barely see through. So you can kind of choose where you want to end up based on that.
Boy.
Gotta go deep. It's the deep mother.
Nordo's end game here is to get these doors open, so I'm going to go as far in as I can and try to like opening doors coming back the other way.
All right. You bamf and sandblast your way through, finding these nearly imperceptible seams around the edges until eventually you reform on the other side, finding yourself in what appears to be a large stone hallway. You do see that right next to you there's a stairwell that goes down at a very sharp angle. It is sharp enough that you can't actually see what it goes down to, but it does seem to open up into some sort of a room down there.
Okay, cool. And then looking back at the door that I just kind of crystallized on the opposite side of as Nordor reforms. Is there a way to just like open this door from this side?
Looking at the door itself, you don't see a handle or a latch or anything, but immediately right next to it, that orange thing, you do see that there is a heavy metal lever.
Well, Nordor's not real smart. I'll pull it.
Excellent. I gotta check and see if it takes an action to do that. I think it's just an item interaction. We'll find out. Right now, actually, I'm gonna look it up. I'm curious.
That might affect my next movements.
No, pull a lever is explicitly listed as free. You pull a lever, and you can hear this resounding click as the door right next to you, as well as the door right next to Flick, both pop open a couple of inches and kind of swing free.
Nordor disappears in a cloud of smoke, appears on the other side, clicks the door open, and then shouts down the hall, "Flick, get the fuck out of there, it's gonna explode." And then I will move to here and just get ready to do it to the next one.
All right, excellent. That brings us to Ace.
Okay, so the blue one still has like a shield.
Yeah, the blue one appears to be stunned, although the thick skin that it pulled around itself is now sloughed back off and is spreading across the room.
Gotcha. Okay, I guess I'll shoot it. Well, actually, you know what? Does it look like it's going towards the red one?
It kind of just fills the rest of the room. It almost seems like there is this weird blankety top coat to this slime that they're able to like pull up around themselves defensively, and then it retracts back out and spreads across the room when they end that defensive stance.
Gotcha. Okay. So first thing, did I recognize the sound? That was that like whalish. Did it sound like aberration-y?
My goodness. Oh boy. You can give me either perception or investigation. This is going to be very difficult.
Okay. I will do that as a bonus action because that's what I do.
Hell yeah. 29 is really good. You get the sense that whatever it is programmed or mechanical because it's coming in very regular, like a very regular pattern. It doesn't feel organic. It doesn't sound like an animal to you. You imagine that it is just some sort of a very weird magical alarm system or something like that. Regular intervals.
Okay. I'm going to shoot the red one first.
All right.
And then apparently miss.
Holy shit, somebody managed to miss one. I guess Flick got an Eldritch Blast earlier, too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if I want to shoot the stunned one or not. I'll shoot the red one again.
All right.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to shoot the blue one. I get way more shit on it
All
as
right.
well. Wow. 2 critical misses in a row.
Wow. Yeah, distracted and enthralled by this
That's
bizarre sound. Just both shots go wide.
That's my turn.
All right. Orange is stunned and doesn't do shit. Blue is stunned and doesn't do shit. Something happens in Moat's room, and then purple is defending. It is going to only do a single attack because it's defending.
Does it lose its defensiveness?
Let me check. What is the timing on that?
I don't know the mechanics just yet.
It does seem to maintain the skin around itself, like it wants to keep protecting itself. But it does throw a single flagellum, this time at Gale. 27 for 8.
It's fine, he had 10 HP.
You're able to stay strong on top of Toto. And it's your turn.
Cool. Alright. So I'm gonna, I guess, shoot her.
sorry, just in case it becomes important, he does drop that defensive stance. There we go.
Oh, he does.
Cool.
Okay.
Then yeah, I'll shoot purple.
Okay.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Nice, nice.
Hell yeah. Both of those sink in. The first for 15, the second for 8. Toto sinks in for another 6 on top of that.
And then Tin Man is gonna go over to yellow and give him some punches.
Hell yeah. Uh, 26 and 24 are both good, and he takes full damage from both. Unable to defend himself for 24.
Woo.
And
You like-
orange does take 19 necrotic. Alright, anything else for Gale?
That is it for me.
Then that brings us to Vasu.
I think I'm just gonna start by keep wailing on the one that's right in front of me and is stunned.
Woo! Alright, you have advantage from stun anyway, right?
I hope.
I think you do. Holy
I
shit.
think that's how stun works.
That's
Wait, did I have advantage? Did I have advantage when I attacked it then?
Oh yeah, you're right. You would have too. So you did hit with that second one. For 13.
I have a.
Holy shit, though. 9 from the first one. A decent hit. But then taking advantage of the fact that this thing is stunned, 21 on that second hit. And it is unable to react and defend itself, so it takes full damage.
Tack on another 5. Shit, I can't remember what damage type I said earlier. Bludgeoning, I think?
Bludgeoning.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, attack on another 5 from that. How's it looking still?
Pretty bad.
If you want, I can re-roll. So I would have had advantage too. To act to do damage, I would have done a shit ton of damage to it if I actually hit.
Yeah, good.
All right, I would have had advantage, so I would have had my Elven accuracy, so I get to roll twice.
Yep. Okay, neither one upgrades to a crit, but they both did hit, and I have already marked off the damage.
Cool.
You crit on 19, that'd be great.
If it's still barely up, I will declare a flurry.
I wish you wouldn't.
Quit. So here's a kick on it.
That is all it takes. This thing burst, splattering down to the ground.
Cool. This other one. The alchemical boy.
19 is good
that
for
hit?
6. It does.
Let me
hit.
get a con save. In fact, you have to understand this is the entire reason. I play
Oh
Monk.
my
It's not all
god.
at once. It's done.
Why do I even give them con
beautiful.
saves?
Alright, that's my turn.
Love being a 2-monk party.
Alright, well then. Let's see. Green gets to go. Green does things. Green is defending, so he drops his defensive stance and then takes a swing at Flick. Oh, hey, that's not what you're supposed to see. Nobody saw anything. This one. 29 on Flick for 13.
Why is everything pain? 13.
Have to call it that.
Flagellate? Of course I do.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? And then I need a strength saving throw from Flick. Meanwhile, Red is stunned.
Do you have to give me strength saving throws? Because oh yay!
Oh, you made
Hey,
it.
you did it.
Something happens in Moat and Elise's room, and then Yeller. Oh my god, Yeller actually gets to do the thing. Yellow, the light inside of Yellow begins to grow and boil and bubble until there is an eruption of acid that sprays out from him. I need everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw. Gale and Toto with +5s.
You mean everybody in that
I
room?
assume
Just
that-
everybody in that room, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the hall. I refuse to do it.
I'm just gonna use my reaction to have the damage again.
Did you already use your action on this turn?
Did I?
Yeah,
I
I
had
thought
my
you
turn back.
have you. Cause yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Yep, you have. You're sorry. You're right.
Yeah, it's acid damage, right? So it's halved
Uh,
to 18. 8?
to
No,
9. Yep.
9.
Gale, even behind the hulking frame of this thing, some of the acid still splashes down around you. Toto's able to kind of nimbly leap aside and take half damage. Yeah, that's a good point.
When did Toto take so much damage?
You did.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
looking at.
That's the slime.
Oh, that's the slime's HP. Gotcha.
and then after erupting, it is going to flagellate twice, once on the Celestial Spirit and once on Nomad. So, Spirit,
The spirit has has to make a save as well.
oh yeah.
Almost forgot. It has life. Let's see, where's it saves? Dex save, yeah?
It's good. Well,
Okay,
it takes half.
Makes it. For 9?
Yep, half for 9, and then I think 28 also hits it for another 8. And then a strength save.
Hmm? Another 8 and a strength save.
It is yanked
Oh, it
10 feet
fails.
closer. And then the second arm goes for you,
Whoop.
Nomad. 24 for 12.
That hits. And I'm resistant to acid.
Yep, so only 6 points, and you're already right next to it, so you don't have to make a strength save. That brings us to the top of a new round. Green, yellow, and purple begin glowing. The other two are stunned and do not. And Flick is first to act.
Okay. You said green's glowing. Is orange glowing?
No. Orange
Or
is...
orange is stunned. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna smack orange, then run away.
Because he's stunned.
Yay.
Oh my goodness. 27, 34, 35 points of damage. You just slam in an ice crust around this thing. Still up, barely.
Run.
Cool. Yep. I'm running though.
Recommend you close that door behind you.
Just pull the lever. Okay. Just pull the lever.
Alright, you flip the lever back up, and both of the doors slam shut with a click click, and lock into place. And that'll bring us to Vasu.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep wailing on this one that's right in front of me. And is also stunned.
Sure is. Both
dead?
solid hits for 26 points. It's not dead. In fact, it kind of just seems like these are the first couple of hits on it, other than that one from last round. But it is.
Okay,
It's looking
what
hurt.
about another 5 bludgeoning damage?
That'll do a
How's
little
it
bit
look
more.
now?
It still looks pretty good.
I'm gonna give me a con save on that second one I hit with.
Oh my
Oh.
god, I think that might save. I don't remember what your DC is.
This DC, if I remember right, because mine's, I think, 1 point higher.
I can't remember how we actually calculate monk DC.
8
think
plus
it's-
proficiency plus wisdom. I think yours is 17.
Yeah, 17. So he's good on that one. I'm gonna flurry anyway.
You're gonna burn through so much.
It's key. It's a short rest. I don't give a shit.
Sure. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I say monks gotta burn all their ki always, constantly. I just don't do it because I'm not a real monk.
22 and 19 are good for another 19 points of slashing damage.
Give me another con save.
God damn
Yes.
it.
Eat
Yes.
shit.
Son of a bitch. Alright, anything else?
No, I'm good.
Alright. Ace.
I move my Hunter's Mark to it and attack with advantage.
29 points.
For the first one.
Another 11 on the back end of that.
That's no crit. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go 1, 2. I guess I'll head towards the door.
Alright. You do find that it is bolted shut, but you can kind of see through it. Actually, you're pretty short. You probably have some trouble seeing through it.
Is there a window, or is it like the lock that I'm looking through?
It is. There is a window, but it is eye level for a human adult. So you know.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't see it. That's fine.
Legit. You can definitely tell there's another room beyond it. Just you can't quite
Yeah.
see Flare.
That's my turn.
Alright, that'll bring us to Norda.
Can't quite see Flick until Nordo uses his item interaction to open the door and tell you to get the fuck out of there.
Two heavy chunking noises as those doors swing open a couple inches. I don't know.
Here's the
Sorry, carry on.
big explosion in Nomad's room, and he goes sprinting down the hallway 50 feet, gets him here. And I will use my action to open this door as well if I can.
Absolutely. You pull that lever, and both doors chunk open.
Alright, that's all my movement. That's my action and my item interaction. I will just do a key point for a bonus action to... actually, no, I'm not even going to bother with that. I was just going to wait right there and shout at everybody in that room to get out of there and close the door behind them.
Sounds good. That brings us to
And
Nomad.
that's my turn.
Nomad sees this door open. He commands the spirit to open them fully, I guess. What the spirit's going to do is it's going to provoke attacks from both of these creatures by flying up and then just fucking no doing that.
Okay. Sure, why not? Yeah, they seem to react viscerally to a thing moving, and they both take swings. 15-15?
15-15 miss.
Alright, they both miss.
And it's going to attack this one twice, I guess. Since it's the nearest one. Sorry, fucking... How do the hexes work?
You gotta hold Alt, and then, like, drag it to the middle.
Okay. This one has defensive still anyway. So this is gonna have resistance. 10, 16.
Both hit for 5 and 8.
I think 8 goes to this mechanical thing. Temp HP. And the Nomad himself is going to spend an action to give himself a flying speed of 30. He's just gonna get his ass through the door and up to here.
Excellent. Alright, that brings us to Gale. Gale, Toto, and the Tin Man.
All right. Well. I'm gonna shoot the purple one.
Both hit for 6 and 7.
And Toto's gonna move. To there, and he's gonna take a bite at the slime again.
That's good for 3.
And then Tin Man should be up here, but he's gonna punch yellow.
Uh, 26 hits, 12 misses. For 13 points.
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Wow, did these things both? They did, holy shit. Well then, they all go. You hear splashing from the door to your left, Flick, as acid kind of sprays up and then trickles down the windows of those doors. Excellent, good. Over here, this one's stunned and doesn't do anything. Let's see. Yellow is gonna erupt. There's another burst of acid that flies through the room. Nomad is safe from, but everybody's still in the room. I need a dexterity saving throw, including your
It's gonna
angel.
be a big
Nomad.
Sure.
Everyone saves except for Toto. Save for 11 or 22 on a fail. And then yellow is going to start moving over towards this doorway. Purple is going to drop defensive mode, take one swing. Closest to the door of the spirit, so this is on the spirit. 21 for 12.
21 hits.
Yeah, disadvantage. Toto's gonna defend.
Shit, 15.
It misses.
Hey, nice. Toto's able to kind of chomp down on that tentacle as it flails over.
That would have killed it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Toto.
And then, let's see, yellow and purple start to glow. And that's a new round. Flick.
I'm always first. It's weird. Okay. Did we open a door?
The only door not open yet is Moat and Elise's.
Okay. I can do this. Fire off at that guy. He's stunned.
He sure is. That is 8 points damage. Whoop, my goodness, another 21, and actually that is enough to do it. This one bursts.
Okay. Then I'll run down here. The cutting action. Then shoot at the one that looks like it's about dead.
Uh, 17 is enough to finish that one off.
And that's
fine.
Alright, that brings us to Nordo.
Okay. I will open up this door, and then I will hold my action to close it as soon as Moat and Elise are out.
Excellent. Door creaks open, and you can hear two sets of heavy armor that are both starting to rush through the door already. But that'll be...
Actually, are there
Okay.
any... what sort of shape are their oozes in there?
When you look in, it appears that one of them has been defeated, and the other one is currently in the defensive stance at kind of the far back of the room, and they both seem to just be running from it.
Okay, cool. That's my turn.
All right, Vasu.
Okay. Wait, shit. Is there still one alive in my chamber?
Not in your chamber.
Nope, it's gone.
Ace, finish it off.
Okay. I'm gonna try to fly over and make our way out of here then.
Cool. You have monk movement. I don't know exactly where you end up, but it's probably pretty damn close to everyone else.
Like 75 feet of fly speed. Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, if you wanted to dash, you could get all the way in that room. Or you can just kind of get right next to everybody else. Your call. And if you don't dash, you end up about here.
So I think everyone's kind
Sure,
of
we'll dash.
rushing out of that room.
All right. That'll bring us to Ace.
I am going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pick up the stairs.
Down the stairs. It's a pretty steep stairwell, but you kind of head down into what at first seems to be very dark, but because of your added dark vision and your true sight, you're able to see clearly. It opens up into what appears to be kind of a circular stone room with a thick glass shielding around the front of it. And looking through this thick glass shielding, you see at first this inexorable darkness, but then, aided by your dark vision and your true sight, what appears to be an ocean floor. You can see deep marine life, strange small creatures, fish with translucent skin, weird plant life and kelp and coral at the bottom of the sea. Just this rolling, crushing depth in several directions. However, sitting in the middle of this circular room, just kind of wounded, but looking back at you with an angry, scared face and its fangs bared, is a young dragon, kind of these bluish cyan scale, a little bigger than the one that you saw on the ship, and also severely injured. It appears to have several acid burns, several places where the scales have flaked off from what appears to be some sort of necrosis or injury. And it is taking just a very hostile, scared, and aggressive stance as it looks up at you.
I just back away.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't pounce or pursue. It just watches your every movement like a scared animal as you back up the stairs.
All right, and then I take my bonus action to dash to get me. Oh boy. And then I'm like, hey guys, there's a heart baby dragon the other direction. And then I guess I'll just use my action to kind of just get an idea of what's around. Maybe like just search the immediate area.
Sure, go and give me a perception check. Taking a look around with that 33. What would you notice that you haven't already noticed? You've already noticed almost everything. Yeah, you notice the latches on the walls that operate the doors. This appears to be just a very plain and simple stone corridor. You were able to get a pretty good look at that dragon while you were over there. You can definitely tell it is not the same dragon. It has a weird horn shape that does not quite match the one that you saw before. You can tell for sure it is a different dragon. Yeah, that's what you get with a 33.
Sorry, my mic was up. Does it seem like it could have been like related? Do they look like similar, but just not the? Is that like not the exact same one, but they could have like similarities between the two of them?
Very, very similar. Almost identical scale color, but
Like
larger.
a brother.
Could be, potentially. Almost identical scale color. Horns are similar, but this one appears to be just more developed, a little older all around, a little larger.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a scarab dragon over there. Acid burns. Maybe we could talk with it. But I don't know how to talk to it though.
We shall.
That's
We can
my turn.
try after this.
Alright. That'll bring us over to Nomad.
Celestial Spirit is going to use this action to heal Gale for 12 HP. And then it's just going to harass this thing. It doesn't have an action or anything.
Okay, just kind
So
of
it's
gets
gonna
up in
fly
its face.
by it and provoke. I don't think it's been its turn yet, so it doesn't have a reaction anyway. But it's gonna get up in its face and harass it.
Alright, perfect.
Give Gale and I'm gonna move out.
That'll bring us
See.
over to Gale's turn.
And that's me. I have an action still though.
Oh, just kidding. Oh, right.
Is
right,
anyone
right.
injured?
Nordo's a little down, like 10 health, nothing major.
Okay. He's gonna
Looks down
spend
to
some 30. Holy damn. Okay, let's heal you a little. It's gonna end up here. Yeah, but that's my turn. I'm just gonna heal Flick.
Excellent. Oh, Ace, I know what you can get on that 33. As you were leaving the room, you looked over to the spot where Vasu noticed that magical aura, and you do see that there is a thing there. I knew I forgot something. It appears to be... give me a d4. It appears to be a pair of leg wrapping. This kind of dark black fabric, which is noticeably not in any way dissolved or disintegrated by this weird acidic goo.
Where was this at?
It is kind of at the base of the ramp in the
Flick.
room where you guys came from.
Oh,
13 to Flick and 9 to myself.
I have to go back and grab it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Alright, that brings us to Gale. 22 and 15 are both solid hits. 16 on the first one, and then it enters that defensive stance, bringing the other one down to 7.
Tin Man and Toto are going to take dodge actions, and Toto's going to run these stairs out here.
Excellent.
I think that's as far as I can get with the difficult terrain on the ground.
Is this area still
that's
difficult
it.
terrain?
Notably, the ramp is not difficult terrain, so that is all
Okay.
smooth.
Yeah, but the first, 2 tiles were. So.
Legit. Alright, then that brings us to Yellow, who's in defensive stance. He will drop defensive stance and take 1 tentacle attack. He's going to get cover because of the spirit, so add 2 to your AC for this, but this is going to be on Toto.
Feck off. Stop attacking the dog.
It's getting away. And then it is... I can't really get over there. Yeah, that's all it can really do. That brings us to the bottom of the round. Elise and Moat both pour out of their hallway, coked in this weird slime, and then Nordo, your ready to action to shut the door behind him, goes off.
Trick. And then if Orange is still up, it takes more bleed.
Perfect. Orange is very
I
dead.
imagine it's dead by now, yeah.
Yep, it's real dead. And that brings us to the top of a new round. Yellow begins to glow. Flick is up.
Oh, I'm first again. Okay.
Yep, highest initiative. Is Gale not still adding his +8?
Say, how is it possible for him to get a 9?
It's built in. I always roll low.
It's impressive. Your leg's being burnt off with acid, it's fair.
They only had 1 to begin with, so.
Wait, how?
Yeah, your dexterity. How is that even possible? Do you have like a negative dexterity?
No, I only have a +1. It's a 9, guys. That's
Yes, he rolled a
super
1.
possible. That's
Right.
Oh,
This
I
is
guess
high.
wait,
this is
what?
high for me.
What's the 3.1 then?
That's
Dex.
his dex and his whatever else.
Dex plus the D8.
Right.
Oh, okay. I got you. It all makes sense now.
All right. Oh my goodness. 22 smack.
23.
20. Yes, 24 actually, because that's melee. Back down to a 12, unfortunately. Oh no, wait, no, he takes all that because it's a fresh round. Yep. All right, and then he goes defensive.
And I run away.
When you run away,
Swashbuckler.
swashbuckler,
So no.
he doesn't do shit. Nordo.
Okay. Boy. Looks like we're all in the clear now, and Ordo is going to just back the fuck away from these doors before any big nasty acid explosions happens and go check on Little Orc.
Hello.
All right,
I guess action dodge or something.
good call. Ace.
All right. I'll be right back. I saw something shiny, but there's a dragon over there. We should probably
Yeah.
talk. Sorry, I was making sure my mic was down.
Yeah, imagine there's a lot of nice shinies around here, but we better regroup before we go poking around too much.
Is it? What's the lighting like in here?
In this hallway, very, very dark. In the rooms, it is illuminated because this weird gack shit seems to be giving off some bioluminescence.
I say shh, 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 and I try to put a finger to his lips, and I just go and just vanish.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to dash and get to the bottom of that ramp to grab those leggings.
Leggings.
Easy enough. You grab what appears to be either leggings or
I know how
footpads.
Vasu
Little hard to tell.
Vasu loves his leggings. It's canon. I've heard him say it.
But as you pull them out, they appear to be in very good shape, and they do hum a little as you pull, giving the impression that they're probably magical.
All right, I just shove them in my pocket
All right, Yellow drops defensive
or like
stance.
my bag,
Takes one swing.
and then but
Oh yeah, sorry. Anything else?
yeah, then I'm going to. Was that just an item interaction to pick it up?
Yep.
All right, then I'll just come back out with a Bane action dash.
All right. It is gonna. It's wise enough to try this. It's gonna move here, and then a swing at the Celestial Spirit. First, the Spirit can take an opportunity attack.
Sure.
Uh, 17 does hit for 9.
Gives itself 7 temp HP.
And then, bam, on the Spirit. 24
That hits.
for 12 points of acid damage, and then I need a strength save.
Cool. 12. What's that minus 7?
5.
And a strength save.
Excellent. Just as planned. The Spirit is yanked over this way, and then this thing is going to pivot 5, 10, 15, 20 around to this side. And that brings us to Vasu. Do we have a Vasu?
Visu?
We are, and it's basically over, yeah. We can
Okay, cool.
pretty much
Yeah.
wrap up.
I'm gonna try to get an extra few minutes of sleep before the drive tomorrow.
Good call.
Bye,
I'll see you.
y'all.
Later.
See ya later.
Skipping ahead, Gale.
Okay, this fucker isn't attacking my construct.
He hurts. He hurts us
Only a tiny bit.
just a little.
Alright, Tin Man's gonna kind of walk around this. Alright, he has to go after me. So I'll shoot this thing.
Nice, nice.
Ooh. 2 solid hits. One for 17, and then he goes defensive. The other one for 8. He's barely up.
Toad's
Yay.
gonna dodge and run me over here. And Tin Man's gonna take 2 swings.
Tin Man, no! Be gentle. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, those both hit. For 6, and that does it. Tin Man sticks both of his tin arms in. I imagine they both go red hot for a moment, and then there's a sear and a pop, and an explosion as this thing bursts.
Gale, do you want the Tin Man to come out before we close this?
Yes. Yes, please.
Because it's still got an hour on it, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Power on it.
Alright.
And he's
Spirit
still got
looks-
decent health.
With that, everything seems to be either contained or dead. Everything kind of goes quiet for a bit. Ace returns with the item. And that's where we'll pick up next. Will it be next week? Yeah, it should be next week. I
Yeah.
think I get back in
real
time to prep.
I can't find Dragon Mom's name. Alex something.
Allow me to check my notes that I
Karen.
prepared.
Her name's Karen.
Patramanxis, I know. I asked for the name. I think you forgot to type it down when I asked. Ah, there it is. Oh, it was just spelled different. Thank you,
Yep.
Alexina.
Can I get control over the Tin Man token?
Absolutely, and I'll actually set up a sheet for that too, just like I've done for the spirit.
All right, guys. I'm gonna bounce so I can pack.
Bye.
Later.
Later.
Bye.
Patramanxis is a wormling, right? Or a young. Yeah, wormling. They only have several stages, apparently, like cocoon and caterpillar. They don't have transitionary stages.
They definitely do, at least in my universe.
They just book.
He's probably,
Yeah, good.
stat-wise, he's probably closest to a wormling, yeah.
Hmm.
He did see through your invisibility somehow, so.
I regret not getting an enhanced wand.
Is
For
this
hitting?
a D&D thing, or is this the personal purchase that you made a few months ago?
Oh, I mean both.
Gotcha.
More talking about D&D.
I gotcha.
As it turns out, the since it gives me a bonus to my spell attack rolls, that also buffs Toto and now Tin Man.
Sure does.
So I might have to.
You can get one eventually, right?
Yeah, I might have to do that next level. But I had to get dimensional shackles this level, so
It was relevant. Needed.
we do need them because I don't want to fight a demon
Yeah.
for the next 40 sessions over and over again.